Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. We are back to Nemesis. We're back to Nemesis Retaliation. I am super pumped to be able to bring this to you. This is the new prototype that Awaken Realms has just sent me. I'd like to thank them for giving me the opportunity to show you what has become Nemesis Retaliation. This again is not a retail version of the game. This is still a prototype, but this is an advanced prototype. It's pretty much all complete, but I still want to show you everything there is, and they are still taking feedback to help with mechanics and things of that nature. So if you see anything and you want to talk about it, please put it in the description of this video. I am super excited to show you what we have. Not only do we have new characters we're going to play with, but as you can see from right here, we have the Neoflesh cult expansion. We get to try out a new expansion that's going to be part of this Retaliation project. This exact group is going to be AI machines combining themselves with living tissue, and that's going to give them special abilities. And just like the previous Nemesis games, if you have played them, all of their expansions are super unique to the way that they function based on the original group of intruders that you've always seen when it comes to these games. So I'm pumped to try out this expansion. We're going to try out an oldie but a goldie character, and we're also going to bring in a new character that was part of this prototype. If you're excited to see more Nemesis Retaliation, then I need you to meet me at the table. Before I start our setup, I do want to show you exactly what you're going to see when you become a player in Nemesis Retaliation. This is a game that takes up quite a bit of space. You're going to see one of our player boards down here, another one over here. This is going to be the area where the whole game takes place. In between this bar going up to this bar coming across, this technically is going to be your playing surface. It can never go outside of that surface. We have all of our cards and tokens we're going to need for the game over here. These are where all of the different rooms and corridors we have are going to come out. And I've also put over here some of the things we're going to use to help us with our intruder. We have our Nemesis bag right there. It is one of the newer bags that they have just put out that allows you to be able to dig into the bag a lot easier. On top of that, you're going to see that we have all our queen information right up here. We have the red scanner there, and of course the rest of all our cards we're going to need over in this area. So this game does take up quite a bit of space, but of course if you've played any of the other Nemesis games, it's a very similar amount of space that it takes up. The first thing we're going to do is not only set that entire ring up that I showed in just my video just a second ago, but also we're going to get our hibernatorium ready to go. This I believe is new. Again, it's been a while since I've played the last prototype of this game, but I believe this is a new thing where they have the unexplored hibernatorium. This cannot be, and never place noise markers in the corridors of hibernatorium. The room is connected to the hibernatorium. Reveal a robot card. It can now be used. Hibernatorium is now available. Discard this token. Then once you do that, you discard this, and now the hibernatorium is underneath it. So that is there. It is not active according to this. As you can see here, we have our two tokens showing that the life support is not on. We have our anti-aircraft we have to set up. There is an active and an inactive side. We're just going to mix these up a little bit. Put them right down here. We're going to go a little truffle shuffle here and stack them up back in the order here. And when, of course, you go to look at them, you'll decide if you want which way you want it to be. This game, of course, is a semi-co-op game. We are going to be playing co-op though, because I'm playing myself. You also can play this solo as well. This game does come with solo objectives. Also, there are co-op objectives, and they have, of course, the semi-co-op objectives as well. And I'll be showing you a little bit more about that in just a second. We're going to move over to our time track. It is going to start at 1, and it's going to count down, of course. These here are specific for the scenario we're playing. These are going, and I'll explain a little bit more about those as we get into the actual new expansion. This is the lander that is going to be needing to land here, and when it gets to here, it's going to try to come into landing. Remember those anti-aircraft tokens we just shuffled up? It could potentially shoot that down, and that would be a way we could not win then. We can't get off the planet then. These are the 4 different groups of tokens that we can have. These tokens are ammo, grenade, we also have medical and oxygen. And I think I have these tokens upside down. I do. They're supposed to be fully loaded. These are the ammo tokens. There you go. We also have our loading zone, which I believe is where we're going to be starting based on our game, unless of course something tells us otherwise. Down here we have our objective marker, and depending on when you choose to choose what objective you want to do, in a SOOP game you're going to be given both the objective and you're supposed to be given also a private objective. Once you choose what objective you want to do, you're going to be able to move this down and you're going to be able to gain a card draw for that turn. It gives you a little bonus for that specific turn, which is kind of cool. That is new to Nemesis or the Retaliation, sorry. It is not in Lockdown or the regular Nemesis game, so it's kind of a cool little mechanic to decide when you want to take your objective. In the other games, as soon as the intruders were spotted for the first time, that's when you choose your objective. This one gives you an idea. You might have, because remember, in this game, we're coming in already knowing that something is here, and we already know what it is, and we're trying to take it out, or we're trying to achieve some kind of objective for a corporation or for ourselves or something, and we know something's here. So seeing them isn't going to be a big deal to us. We already know what these are. So in this case, when we decide on what objective we have, we're going to be able to tick this down. Now, of course, we're going to be playing co-op, so this might not play as big a role based on if it was in a semi-co-op option. Up here we have our self-destruct token. If we're told to put this onto the board, we will. Next we have the robot card. We're going to flip over the top robot card and see what one we have. We're also going to place a ammo and oxygen token next to this robot area. It's maybe something they have with them. We're going to shuffle these up a little bit and we're going to draw one of the cards. Now again, these are prototype cards. The production this game is going into production, but these are not the production copy, just to remind you. So the robot we have is going to be the securing robot. We can move the robot up to 2 times, or open and close a door accessible to the robot, or place a block marker in the room with the robot. So that's the robot that is in here for this game. There is a rule up here that says if you're in a room with a computer and do not have the robot room, you may discard an action card to perform a use robot action. So you could use that robot if you're in a room with a computer. Now, before we move on, I do want to mention, I have to make sure I'm telling you the right things. These are secure tokens. Place a secure token in a room, and that's going to help us when these intruders attempt to enter the rooms we're in. We also have our data tokens over here that we can use. These also are going to give us the ability to activate the robot. We, of course, have to find some of those to do it. We're also going to take eggs, place them into the nest here. This also is a life support is not working. This is the C section, in case I didn't talk about the other ones. There are 3 different sections in this game, and there's going to be a life support area in each one of these. If there's no oxygen, you're going to be losing oxygen as you play through the game. If there is oxygen, at least you're not losing the oxygen. And remember, if you don't have oxygen, you are going to die. Eventually, if you run out of oxygen, it's going to have you gain this suffocating token. It does say next time you lose oxygen, you die. Discard this token when you gain oxygen or at the end of a turn where you're in a section with oxygen. So it's kind of like you're holding your breath one final time, hopefully not have it be your last. We have all of our tiles ready to go, A, B, and C. These are predetermined rooms. These are unknown rooms. So you're not going to see all of these most likely in your game, but you may see these almost every time you play. And these are major areas in the facility that you're going to come across. For example, in this particular stack here, there is a nest. Every one of these does have some type of way to turn on the life support. And some of these might have other ways of escaping or turning other things on and things of that nature. These are all the different corridors that we're going to have to do. We've shuffled all these up and they're ready to go. We're going to take the first 3 and place them out on the board. We'll place them right down here, and it shows you what their noise value is. Of course, if you ever get a chance to secure all these different locations, then you wouldn't have to worry about the noise in these anymore. Now, of course, the 3 I chose all have 2s. That's no good. So if I draw 2, there's roll for 2 with noise. That's going to be very bad. It's time to set up our intruders. Now, some of this is going to be a little bit different from the main intruder for this game, and that's because it could be changed because this is in one of the expansions. We first have our little tile here that's going to tell us everything we need to know as we're doing it. So if we resolve noise, you're going to do this. Resolving this symbol, you're going to be doing that. If you're doing bag development, you're going to be doing that. We have the exploration deck specific for this faction. We also have the Queen Health deck. That is, again, specific for this faction. And then here's all the really cool things that are unique to this faction. Okay, so the way this works is there are these things called skitterlings or twitchlings. These are right here. Twitchlings. This is the token for it, Twitchlings. There's a Twitchling. These Twitchlings are the larva for this faction. The larva itself is not going to go after you like it would normally. What these Twitchlings are doing are attempting to take biomatter back to the queen so that it can grow and become more powerful. And it's called the mother brain. So as this thing is running around, it's going to slowly, instead of going towards you, try to flee from you to get this biomatter back to the queen. And so if it can do that, it's going to be removing these and putting them into the bag, causing this thing to potentially come out. These are the queen tokens here. Normally they're going to be able to put in the bag, but for this specific faction, they're only placed in the bag when they're able to get the flesh from other things and attach themselves to the queen. This will also make them become more powerful going forward if they're able to get more of those. Now, of course, we saw these tokens out on that time track. If those are ever crossed, you flip them over and add them to the queen. Now the queen, of course, has gotten more health, and we don't want the queen to have more health. That'd be really, really bad. So we need to stop that. Every time Skitterling is able to bring biomatter away, it's going to move those tokens up the track and make them easier for the time track to reach them and cause us to have to deal with them. The other cool thing is that this place is going to have what are called cultists. These cultists are going to come out on the map based on specific events that are found in this deck. When those are on the board, they don't actually attack you. They are going to potentially signal some of the adults and maybe some of the Skitterlings to come to them and help out. They're also going to make these event deck more deadly based on the amount of them that are still out on the board. So our goal is to destroy a lot of those to make the events less powerful. Also, as we destroy these cultists, we're going to be removing some of the powers that our adults have. There are four different adults four different adults, the cultist and the Twitchlings, and they all have a special ability. For example, the slasher here says it always attacks twice. If you are able to take out a Neoflesh cultist, you can choose one of these to lose that power, and when you do, you just flip the card over, and now it's just a slasher, and it has no additional rules. So you want to try to take them out to make the enemies less powerful towards you. It's a really cool system. I think this is going to be really neat. I'm really excited to try this out. We have, like I said, 4 different adults. We have slashers. We have these crawl mines where when they are killed, you're going to flip over 3 intruder attack cards. And if the boom card comes up, you're going to suffer 3 damage, which is super bad. We also have the Ironclad. This one is kind of like the tank of the group. The Ironclad must always be the first target in the corridor or room attacked. If it's in a corridor, it needs 2 hits to be killed. And if it's in a room, instead of being killed, I repel it back into a corridor. And you have to attack those before you attack anything else. We have the Fire Spitter. Whenever the heroes burst at the corridor, the Fire Spitters will first deal 1 damage to each, based on each Fire Spitter in there. So they're going to actually shoot and yuck at us and attack us before we can attack them. The cultists, like I said, are out there, and after dealing any hits against the cultists, make a noise roll. So they're going to be drawing other things towards them. Of course, if you kill the cultists, you could choose to remove this from their power from them, and then the cultists wouldn't do that. And that does resolve before the power of the enemy does happen. And then we have those Twitchlings. The Twitchlings are in a room, are killed like an adult intruder. Normally the larvas only have 1 health, but these adults are larvae are going to be dealt with similar to an adult when it comes to taking them out. Now, of course, the deal is I could also get rid of that power, which means then they would turn into just basic larvae and they would die after 1 attack. Now, as you see here, this number 1, that's like when it comes to figuring out any type of tiebreaker that they have to do. This one would be the lowest one, this one. And then the cultist next. I believe the Fire Spitter would be next. They don't actually have the numbers on them, but they did call out in the rule book that the Slasher would be first, then the Crawl Mine, then the Ironclad. So I'm guessing the Fire Spitter would be after that, then the cultist in this, but I am just guessing on that. Again, this is a prototype, so there are still some things that are in production as they're going to mass production pretty soon. Now, of course, the final thing to set up is all of our different tokens, our 3 different decks. These are very similar to the original Nemesis and Lockdown. We have the military, the health, and just a basic item deck. We also have contamination cards that we may be getting, and we have our serious wound cards as well that we're going to be drawing as we get wounded. I'm going to guess you'll see a lot of those, and our goal is to hopefully, well, our goal is to complete our objective. We'll see if we can do that. Let's find out what our characters are playing, and then we'll see what our objectives are. In this game, they have brought so many things to it. You have the main game component people you can play with, and now they have the different contractors, which is bringing in the characters from Lockdown and the original Nemesis. This is super cool. So if you ever, I did 2 other playthroughs earlier on the Nemesis Retaliation. If you're interested in seeing that, you're going to be able to see the engineer, the officer, the heavy gun operator, and the recon. I did a recorded play with 2 of these, and I did a live play with Colin with those, so we're not going to be using those. The other ones we have an option of playing as is the UVA operator, the sharpshooter, the medical support, or we can pick a contractor. I'm going to play with the sharpshooter. I think that'll be really cool. We're going to be playing with that character. As you can see here, the little dots on these right here, these little triangles, this shows their rank. There are cards in this when playing, of course, semi-co-op or even co-op that you can make another person do kind of what you want them to do if your rank is higher than them. So if I had a combat engineer and I played a card that made the sharpshooter, let's say, move into the next room, they would have to do that. They would have to abide by it because my rank is higher. Of course, they do have reaction cards that could prevent that if they wanted to. But for this particular time, we're all going to be heroes together. We're not going to be doing anything crazy like that. So we're playing that as the sharpshooter. And then these are the different placards you would slot into your game area. But like I said, they also have some for the original one. We have the captain, we've got the scientist, we've got the hacker, the xenobiologist, the sentry, the xenobiologist. Yes, in this game, they all come with starting items. And for example, the captain is going to get his lucky 6-shooter from the original Nemesis game. He's got his 6-shooter, which is kind of cool. The scout is going to come with her scout rifle and the motion scanner. I believe that's also from there. We have, for example, we go down to the xenobiologist. Remember the xenobiologist had that arm? It still has the probe arm. So the xenobiologist still has her probe arm and her xenobiologist gun. So it is cool that they brought back a lot of the stuff from there, but have made it so that it is balanced for Retaliation. So you can use some of your old characters in this game. And speaking of old characters, we're going to be bringing back an oldie but a goldie. It's going to be our pilot. For those of you that have watched any of my Nemesis playthroughs or all of them, you're going to know that the pilot, I believe, was the very first person I ever played with when I played Nemesis. So we're going to bring the pilot back. I'm going to bring back the exact miniature we had when we played it. This is the pilot. I painted the pilot all up. For those of you that are interested, this game does come with the they call it the Sundrop Pledge. And usually the Sundrop for the miniatures for the game when it comes to the characters are all done in this gray type style, like this. And I will tell you, if they are in this gray type style, you can paint right over that and it has no problem. This was a Sundrop miniature that I painted up even with the Sundrop painted onto it. So they do come with the ability to be painted, which is really super cool. They all come with a weapon. This is the pilot's starting item. She is going to have the pilot shotgun. It gets an ability that I can shoot after shooting, deal 1 hit to each intruder in the room. This is a universal symbol for intruder, so you're going to see that quite a bit out there. The other one is I've got orbital maneuvering system. Remember, she's a pilot, so she has the ability that says only if there are 3 or fewer rounds to the craft coming down, then we can actually choose a neighboring room and place that ship there instead. And then all intruders are repelled and each person loses 2 and makes a noise roll. From now on, your characters may enter the ship from that area as if using the loading zone. So you can call in the ship to land anywhere in the facility. I think that's super cool, which is why I want to play there. I have her deck of cards, her action cards here. She has 5 cards that pretty much everybody has: demolition, repairs, search, rest, and the basic secure. And then of course she has her own deck of cards here as well, the 4 that normally come with the contractor pilot. Now this is a prototype and I'm going with what I'm I'm thinking this works like, there is a contractor character, and that character comes with these 5 basic cards. Every character comes with these 5 basic cards. The pilot deck was only these 5 cards, so I'm guessing that you're supposed to take the contractor cards and the contractor pilot cards, mix them together to form your deck, and that would be your 5 starting, and then you're going to draw 5 starting cards from this, and from then on you'll just use this deck. Now to continue setup, we are going to place this here. This is not a heavy item. This is a heavy item because this is a heavy item because it's actually sideways. The heavy items are all going to be sideways, so the technical maneuvering system is a one-time use only. It is heavy. It says right there heavy, so I have to keep this. Wow, am I actually able to keep that the whole game? We'll see. I do get to pick 4 different tokens to place here. I'm going to take ammo, I'm going to take a grenade, I'm going to take one of everything here. We're going to take some health, we're going to take a health kit, and we're going to take some oxygen. There we go. I do have our slot here for what that we are in the healthiest we can be. I'm going to make this character be player 2. Again, when you play this game, a lot of this is all determined. I'm getting 7 oxygen as well. This is going to be determined by random draw, but for the purposes of me showing off this game, I'm just picking stuff and we're going to go with it. So I'm just going to say this was the second person. This is going to be the pilot. We're going to play this. Now, of course, I should draw different types of draft cards that they have. You should draw these and then you decide what characters you want to be, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to play with the characters I want to show off. So we're going to show off the pilot. We're going to show off our next character, which is the sharpshooter. He's going to get his character. Now, his is not painted up. This is one of the newer characters. I don't have it painted up yet. It starts with a sniper rifle. I'm going to put this in his right hand. Why not? He's going to be right-handed. He has a full deck of cards here. All of his are sharpshooter cards, or isn't. So we're just going to mix those up. So we're going to get ready to draw our 5 cards when the game starts. We're not going to do that quite yet. First, we also have to pick out some stuff for a tactical belt. Again, I think we're going to go with one of everything. Hopefully, that's a good choice. It could be a bad choice. I mean, I haven't played this enough to know kind of what to expect when it comes to your things. Now, the ammo does come with 2 different sides, fully loaded, half loaded. So you want to make sure you have fully loaded stuff here. Also, your gun does come with this as well. So you have to put the fully loaded there for the gun. I'm also going to put this, I'm actually going to move this off of that little tab there so that I can actually slide that right on. Perfect. Then I'm going to place this onto our pilots. I forgot to do that. Our pilot should also have that for her weapon as well. Now, if you notice, this guy only comes with 1 item. He has to gain another item. And there's a huge amount of support items that we can choose from. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle these all up and we're going to lay them out so that we have 7 available to us. We'll put this one on here. We have a bayonet. We have a sonic gun. We have a assault shotgun. We have a supporting robot controller. We have a heavy armor, which isn't bad. Armor might not be good. A noise scanner. And our final one is a plasma gun. So let's quickly take a look at some of these. We have a bayonet. You can hold this item in the same hand as a rifle. Whenever you would be attacked by an intruder, you may place a broken marker to prevent the attack. Not bad. We have a sonic gun. I can burst, treat 3s and 4s as 2s. When you get that particular symbol, it's going to cause this place it's going to break the rooms. That's no good. We have an assault shotgun here. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to go for any guns because we have a sniper rifle, and I think it's pretty awesome. Whenever you would be, even though I'm the most horrible sniper ever, every first-person shooter game I play, I take a sniper rifle and I get killed. I'm the worst sniper ever. You would be attacked by an intruder. You may spend the ammo twice. If you do deal 1 hit then to that intruder and prevent the intruder from attacking. I don't think we're going to take any of these guns. The plasma gun, what's that do? Lose 2 health for each universal marker on this weapon, then place the 1 universal marker there. Oofta. Okay. Oh, it just requires no ammo. Well, that's really good. Maybe I'll think about that one. I really think I'm going to take this heavy armor when everything's all said and done here. But this one, now notice this. This means that I cannot use this if I am in a room with intruders. That means that it's not safe. Activate the robot anywhere in the facility or place the robot in your room. Oh, actually, that might be really good. That'd be really good. Noise scanner. Discard a noise token from any corridor in the facility and roll a noise die. If the result is the same as the corridor's noise value, place and resolve noise there. I don't know if I like that either. Let's see. This heavy armor. Armor. When you would gain a serious wound, you may lose 2 health instead. And I can use that 3 times. Oh, I think that's really good. We're going to keep that. That way he can hopefully not die. We're going to place this armor underneath here. It's always going to go underneath the heavily injured area. And so now I have this ability whenever I'm getting serious injuries up here. Now, from what I understand, if your health actually goes into the armor section of this, you would have to discard this armor. I'm not sure exactly why they have the markers there, because from what I understand, according to the rules, once the health tracker reaches where the armor is destroyed. The other thing is, if you get other armor, you just have to discard this armor and put new armor in. You cannot store armor in your backpack. This, of course, is going to be our first player. So we're going to give them the first player token, and we're going to give them 7 oxygen because everybody likes to start the game breathing really, really well. There's only a couple things left to do. One, we have to make up the bag for the intruders. And for this particular faction, we're replacing the blank token in there, 2 of these twitchling tokens into there, and then 3 different adults. Now, this adult stack is really big. It has an equal number of all 4 of the different types of adults that we've talked about with these cards. So we're going to place 3 of them in there at random, and then we're going to place 2 more in there, one for each hero that we have, or one of our characters that we have. On top of that, we have the Sundrop version of every single one of the enemies that we're going to be placing. So hopefully we get to see what all these cool intruders get to do. I'm super pumped to try to fight these. Look, there's the queen right there. The last thing we need to do is find out how we're going to win. Of course, winning involves us getting out of here alive. On top of that, we have to try to complete the objective that is before us. Now, of course, in order to, we could either escape the facility in 3 different ways. We can leave through an escape shuttle, we can lock ourselves in the hibernatorium, or we can try to get back to the lander. Then we, of course, once we do that, we have to find out if we have fulfilled our objective. Now, in this game, this is normally a solo co-op game. So you're going to find all the cards that have to do with the number of players you have. So this is 2+, 2+, 2+. These are all the 3+ missions. Now we're only playing with 2 people, so I've removed all the 3+ missions from this. So we have this particular mission deck. We're going to shuffle this up, give it a quick little shuffle here, and we're going to draw one of these and attempt to complete it. Now, when you play solo co-op, you're not going to use these cards. You're going to use the solo co-op cards, and you're going to try to complete those objectives. My copy for the prototype still does not have the solo co-op, so we're just going to draw a card, and that's going to be our objective. I think it'll be just as fun to try to do. We are going to perimeter clearing. Reactor C must be shut down, and all 3 rooms A must be discovered. So that is going to be our objective. You're going to put your mission task right here. Now, I was going to just place it right there and we were going to start, but I had a strange feeling. I recognize that. And that is actually one of the ones I did the last time. So we're going to pick a different one. Facility restart. The hibernatorium must be explored and opened and ready to go. Section C. And then the reactor in section C must be shut down. So we're going to have to go deep into the facility. This is going to be super cool. So I'm actually going to do that one. If you're interested in seeing how this one turned out, please check out my other playthrough. I did that specific objective. Some of the other objectives you have the option of doing is we could do an escort mission where we're going to be bringing the robot to the reactor, and then one of us must leave with at least a data token. This one is that we must have 2 eggs in total. So there are some really cool ones. Essential data. One of people must have data, and you must have explored everything in section A. So there's some really cool objectives you can try to do. The interesting thing, though, if you're playing semi-co-op, is not only are you going to get one of those objectives, but that's not only are you going to get this task, you're going to then draw your 2 objectives. One of them is going to be a mission objective. There are 2 different mission objectives that you could potentially get: official orders and self-serving. So if you do the official orders, when you go to choose your objective, you just say, I'm doing this one, you flip it upside down. That's the objective you're going to try to do. Nobody has to know what it is, and you don't show anybody, and you can tell the truth or lie about it, whatever you want to do. You could also get this self-serving one, which means that you cannot choose the objective. You must choose a private objective, and there are an absolute ton of these private objectives, and these are all different things you can do. And of course, it's based on player count. So this one says number 3 must not survive. If you are number 3, this is impossible. But it does say you must, or you must be the only survivor. I mean, that's kind of out of control. We've got history. The lowest ranking must survive. If you are the lowest, doesn't happen. The highest ranking must not survive. So you have different ways of, you could choose one of those. This is the nest must be destroyed. That could be your personal, so you could be going through this not having picked your objective yet, and all of a sudden you unveil the nest. And you're like, okay, I'm going to choose my objective. So people might know that that's probably the one you've got, but maybe not. This one is ulterior motive. Oh, this is a mission objective. This is another one that's going to be inside here. I thought I'd separated them all out. This one, the mission task must remain unfulfilled. So you're trying to sabotage everybody trying to make the objective happen. So in this one, say everything's all set to go, everybody's walking back, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go check out this place over here real quick, and then you go run back to the reactor and you start it while people are trying to get to the thing, and people are like, why are you restarting the reactor? We have the mission objective to go. Then you run to the hibernatorium and you hide yourself in there, and the rest of them all die, you win. See how cool this game can be? Oh my gosh. Semi-co-op games can actually be really fun. It's a lot of fun to play. Now, of course, every one of these people in this game have a chip inside of them where they cannot physically attack another player. So even though it says you have to have number 3, you cannot survive, you can't shoot them. You cannot use your items or anything against them. Some items you can, anything non-lethal you can. Or if it's something that's going after something else, it could also affect them as well. So for example, you could throw a grenade into a room with the person you don't want to have survive. And if as long as there's like intruders in there, you're blowing the intruders up, but you might also hurt them. You know, well, that's kind of how it goes. You could also shut doors on these people as well. Speaking of doors, this actually has to be reversed. If there's ever a door, which you see right here, it should be facing from where you place the different, what do we call these things? Oh, corridors, there we go. At this point, we'll place our 2 characters into the loading zone here. There is an ability here that says refill your tactical belt with the tactical belt tokens from the connected slots, which are right here. Or make a noise roll and get into the escape ship. That is the other thing you can do here, because this thing will land here by turn 10. Of course, that can go up and down based on different things that happen in the game. And of course, you want to make sure that you know what is happening with the anti-aircraft gun. If it does try to land and it is active, it will shoot it down, and of course you cannot escape that way, which would be super bad. Now our ability is our objective is we have to get to the hibernatorium. We got to get it kind of going up here from based on in section C, and the reactor must be turned down as well. Our characters are each going to draw 5 cards. We're going to start with the sharpshooter. I'm kind of excited to try this guy. I think he's going to be really cool. All right, I'm going to shuffle these cards up. We're going to give him that nice little truffle shuffle, and we're going to draw out 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're a little sticky, but this is a prototype, so everything is going to be better as it goes forward. Let's see here. This has got repairs. I can discard a card to discard a marker in the room or open and close 1 door. Now, of course, this symbol up here means you can't use it in combat. We do have hold position. I am able to, if you have at least 2 of those tokens, I'm able to draw 2 cards, 1 by 1. As long as you have bullets in your sniper rifle, you may resolve the effect of the number of times. I can deal 1 hit in an adjacent corridor and roll a shoot die and check the following. If I get the bullets or the headshot symbol, I have to spend the ammo from the sniper rifle. Then we have search. This should be pretty cool. Of course, it's going to be very similar to the other ones we've seen in Nemesis. For each item in the room, or actually icon, you get to draw 1 item, keep 1, and discard the other ones. This is our rest card. It can resolve this infection procedure, remove all infected cards from the game instead of discarding them. The infection procedures here: scan all contamination cards in hand. If any of them are infected, place a larva on your character board, then discard all contamination cards from your hand. All right, so we have our 5 cards from our sharpshooter. We'll shuffle up our pilot's deck here just one more time just to get 5 cards here. Just couldn't remember if I shuffled this or not, so we're going to give it a shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, 5 cards. Let's see what 5 cards our pilot is going to be able to get. We've got weak spot. This says deal 1 hit to the intruder, then shoot or melee attack it. Well, if you remember, just like in other Nemesis games, if you are meleeing something, that usually everything has gone in the wrong direction. Demolition, destroy accessible door or put a disable marker in your room. I can repair a disabled marker or by discarding a card, or open and close an accessible door. Basic secure, I can discard a card to place 2 secure tokens, which then I could combo with our sharpshooter, who has that ability. I can discard 1, reinforce an empty corridor that leads to a room with another area or person or robot. And then we have computer skills. If you're in a computer room, use the room. Or if you're in a computer room, open or close 1 door in the facility. So I can do any facility door. That's pretty awesome. So that is her cards. I'm quickly going to go over the different actions that you can perform. Of course, the basic actions is you can play a action card or pass. Every time you do 2 different actions, it will then move to the other player's turn. You are not passing to the other player. It'll then be the other player's turn. Only when your character physically passes does the character end and you go into the event step. Of course, all characters have to pass before the event step happens. I still get comments sometimes in my Nemesis playthroughs asking how I was able to take so many actions on a turn. The action sequence doesn't end until the characters physically pass. The only way that you'll ever pass is if you decide voluntarily to pass. 2, if you no longer have any action cards that you can use to perform actions, then you have to pass. Or the other one is if you only do 1 action. If you do only 1 action, your second action mandatorily has to be to pass. Those are the ways that you're going to pass to then move into the event step for that particular character. But the event step will not happen until every character in the game has passed for that turn. So after you decide to do your 2 actions, it will then move to the other player's turn. And here are a few of the actions you can do other than the ones that are on your cards that you have drawn. You can discard an action card to be able to make a move, which then you'll be able to move to another area. You can place down one of those secure tokens. You can fire a shot. Shots are going to be in rooms. You're going to be attacking in a room. Now, the other Nemesis games that we have played has really only taken place in rooms. This one takes place not only in rooms, but also in corridors where you can burst fire into. You can do a melee attack. You can use an item. You can activate a robot. You can trade cards. And you can use anything on your tactical belt. All those revolve around you discarding an action card in order to perform one of those actions. A couple of them I want to go into a little more detail in is the trade action. The trade action can only happen with characters that are in the same room. And if there are multiple characters in that room and one character chooses to do the trade action, all of those characters then can be involved in the trade action and can choose to trade items amongst themselves freely. Of course, you don't have to be truthful in what you're trading. Now, you can always lie about what you're trading to a person if you want to, of course, if you're playing semi-co-op, which is kind of cool. It can be tricky. The other ones are pretty all self-explanatory, and I will probably be demonstrating most of these as we play through the game. The other 2 actions you can perform is you can discard 2 action cards to use whatever room you're in, or you can make a move with a secure token. In the other Nemesis games, they used to have what's called a careful movement, which would cost 2 cards, which then you could choose to place the noise token. In this one, they've changed. It's a little bit different, but still the same concept. You can discard 2 cards to put a secure token into the room that you move to, which isn't always it's not a bad idea, because when the intruder enters into the room and makes an attack, the first thing it will do is it will discard one of those tokens. And then if there's any after that make an attack, they're gonna get you, and that's gonna be bad. Now, before we take our first turn, there is something I did do wrong, so I want to make sure we rectify this before we continue. You are supposed to not show this card. We're supposed to take this deck, give it a truffle shuffle here, and then once you're done shuffling the deck up, then you're going to take the top card, not reveal it, and place it onto this area here. When you enter the hibernatorium for the first time, you're then going to be able to show this card, and you'll be able to start using this robot. It is time for us now to begin. We are going to have to do the facility restart, so we have to get to the hibernatorium just to get over to the C area. I think that's going to be our easiest way. So I'm going to head up this way. I'm going to do a move action, so I'm going to have to pay 1 card. We're going to get rid of our rest card, and at this point we will make a move into this room up there. When you make a move, you're going to draw a card from the exploration deck, and you're going to resolve it. What you're seeing on this card is what type of room you're going to place. This is always going to show that this is north, so you can't like rotate these in other directions. It's always going to be placed in that direction. It's going to have a little reminder here to place a token if you moved cautiously. We did not. If it's a room with a computer, place, oh wow, we can place one of those cultists there. And it does say entrance effect, resolve that symbol. We'll have to deal with that. So we'll place this down. We'll grab an A, B, or C room. There are 3 A rooms, so we're just going to mix these up. Now, if I was in the B section, I would pick a B room. And if I was in the C section, I would pick a C room. We have found ourselves the surgery room. I can discard all my cards, remove a larva from your character board, scan all contamination cards in your deck, and discard, remove infected ones, and discard the rest, or discard one chosen serious wound. So it is going to be good for us to have this out here. Over on the side, you do see different symbols here. When you search the room, you're going to draw a card for every symbol you see over here. This particular one is 3 different medical symbols. So you're going to draw 3 from that deck and pick one. It could show maybe a red and a yellow, where you draw 1 yellow and 1 red and choose one of those cards, and so on and so forth. We're going to place this down right here. And then we're going to put our dude on top of it here. Then we're going to resolve the rest of this card now. As you can see, our characters there, there's going to be noise in this corridor over here. So we're going to place down some new corridors. According to this, there's one going in this direction. There's one going in this direction. And there's also one going up over in this direction as well. That's good for us because we're trying to get over there, so we do know there's a way. Now, this card could have showed that there is not a corridor in that direction. That would have been bad news. If you're going to place a corridor and you can't, then you don't do it. So, for example, if it told us to put a corridor this way, we would not put the corridor there. Also, if there was an explored room over here and we had to come down this way and we had to place a corridor in this room, or place a corridor here, we would not do that because they don't just magically appear from rooms that you've already explored in. Also, we have to flip these up this way so that we can see the values that we need for any type of noise rolls we have to make. This particular card did not tell us to make a noise roll, which is good. We also have to make all of the doors face the room that we're in, and that is it. Now, of course, if there's a computer, there's no computer here. Oh, that's too bad. I kind of wish there was a computer there because I would like to shoot. I would like to kill those things. I'd like to kill the cultists, but there is not. Now we do have to entrance effect resolve that symbol. According to our sheet, we have to reach into our bag and pull out a token, and whatever token it is what is in the room. We have found ourselves a little twitchling. A little twitchling is found in the room. We'll place it right here in our room, and whenever an enemy appears in a room, it will make an attack. The twitchlings are a unique way of attacking. Also, I'm going to discard this from the bag and put it back into our token pool. Then that's how you get this guy in here. Now, of course, he's going to attack us. The twitchlings are going to cause us to take 1 contamination card. If you remember the original Nemesis or any other, when I played my original Retaliation, we played against the other intruder species. And that one would have the larva similar to other Nemesis games where you'd place this onto your character board and then you would have to deal with that at some point. But in this one, that is not the case because remember, these twitchlings are trying to bring biomatter back to the queen. So we're going to grab a contamination card and put it into our discard pile, and that's going to kind of gum up our hand until we find a way to get rid of it. At this point, I have to decide if I want to try to take this twitchling out or if I want to continue on. If I continue on, it will get an opportunity attack when I leave the room, which means I'll gain another contamination card. If I want to try to destroy this twitchling, sadly, it is going to act like it would in a normal adult. Normally, the larvae only have 1 HP or 1 hit, and it takes them out, but that is not sadly how this is going to work. Instead, we are going to have to attack it, I think. So we're going to use our sniper rifle to attack. We do have ammo in our sniper rifle. I'm not going to be bursting. I'm going to be doing a shoot action into this room. So when you do that, you're going to have to spend a card to do the attack. So we'll have to discard our repairs card. I'm going to just discard this card to be able to shoot in a room. And the first thing we do is place a token down next to our enemy. Then I'm going to roll an 8-sider, and I have to get that number or less worth of damage or number on my die. So I need a 1, or that's about it. 3. I was not able to destroy the intruder, sadly. Having completed our actions, we are going for the 2 actions for our turn. We are going to have to lose 1 oxygen because I'm in a room without any oxygen. Before we move on to the pilot's turn, I did forget to put a noise token into that corridor there because of our card. Now, of course, I am going to discard this as well. And when I discard cards, I just put them onto the bottom. And when there's no more cards to draw, you just reshuffle the deck. Also, I was so excited to shoot this dude and that he appeared in my thing, I forgot to roll for noise. Whenever you do a move action, you will roll for noise after you resolve the card. We'll roll for noise. We got a 4, which means we are going to place noise into our corridor right above us. We'll put it right here. There's a 4 on this thing here. Now, if you can ever secure corridors, you're able to flip those this way, and the noise no longer gets placed in there. Enemies can still move through them, but they're no longer going to be able to gain noise tokens, which is pretty good. Our turn now for the pilot. We'll see what our pilot can do. Probably move up there and try to help out our sharpshooter who did not sharpshoot too well. I'm going to use a move card with this repair. I'm going to use a move action to move that character 1 space. I'm going to move it right up here to help us out with the sharpshooter. Now, unlike the other Nemesis games, when you move into a room with an intruder or another player, you don't roll for noise. In this particular game, you do still roll for noise. So roll the dice and see what happens. We got another 4. So that means we're going to place a noise token in every corridor that has number 4. This one is the only one. You can never have 2 noise tokens in there. Once you've had your second noise token in the room, or I should say corridor, and then we're going to resolve the token that we pull out of our bag. So we're going to draw 1 token and resolve it in a corridor. We're going to take one of these tokens out of here and see what we have found. We found nothing? Really? Oh my gosh, we found the blank. That's fantastic. According to this, we're going to add 2 random adult tokens to the bag and place that token back in the bag. So there's our token in the bag. Then we're going to grab 2 random tokens and just drop them in, shake this up, and wow, that was absolutely fantastic. And now our pilot is going to use Weak Shot. Weak Shot is going to deal 1 hit to the intruder and then shoot or melee attack it. Well, I'm not going to melee attack it. I am going to shoot it. So we're going to use our pilot shotgun. Now I know there's an ammo token here, and I didn't do anything about the ammo when the sharpshooter shot it, and I'm also not going to do anything with it with her either. The ammo when you do a shoot action in the room is not going to be flipped over or removed. It only is when you burst into a corridor. That's when you're like really emptying your magazine to try to take out as many of those intruders as you can. With the one in the room, you're just taking shots because you don't want to damage the room or your friends in it. So at this point, we are going to make an attack roll. This enemy does have 2 on it already, and then we're going to do 1 more. And that's because before we do the hit attack, we're going to deal 1 hit to the intruder and then do a shoot. So now we're doing a shoot, we're going to add another one. This enemy is at 3 health taken. We'll roll the die and see what we get. We got a 3. That is enough to take out that intruder. So our, what do you call these things? Skitterlings or twitchlings? It is off the board. That being our second action, we are going to lose 1 oxygen because we have not turned on the life support in this area. Moving over to our, oh no, I forgot to roll for noise again. No, I did roll for noise. I got a 4. That's right. That's me, the Achilles heel here. I'm going to forget to roll for noise, even though it's something you always do in Nemesis. I'm going to use our search. For each item icon on your room, draw 1 item for the corresponding type. You may keep 1 of them and discard the rest. I'm going to use that card for what it's used for. I am going to draw 3 items. We're going to draw 3 from the medical deck and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a med kit, discard 1 serious wound and or restore 3 health. Fantastic. Let's see what else. We found caffeine pills, draw 3 cards, reveal them, and resolve the infection procedure. Oh boy, okay. The last one we have is adrenaline injection. Draw 1 card. You may perform any number of actions during this turn, pass as the last action. So you could just keep going and going and going if you needed to. I kind of like this med kit. Med kits are really good, right? I like med kits. Med kits are good. So we're going to place our med kit into our left hand. Anything that is horizontal, from what I understand, is considered a heavy item. You cannot put them in your backpack. Ones that are upright like this and vertical, you can put these into your backpack. You can have as many of those as you want, and they can be hidden from other players so they don't know. We're not going to take these. We're going to discard them. We're going to put them back on the bottom of the deck. And this is going to be now 1 item we have that we can use. At this point, I think I'm going to discard my hold position card. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with that right now, so that we can move up into this area here. We'll draw an exploration card and see what has befallen our brave hero here. All right, it's on fire. That's terrible. Reminder, if I moved cautiously, I get to place a secure token. If it's a room with a computer, place down, oh, I want a computer. Place a cultist there. We want to destroy these cultists. Extreme effect. Close all doors around this room. Make a noise roll. Oh boy. Okay, good. There's no
nothing is going to happen. There's no doors around this room. Oh, there's a door over here. Oh, barf. All right, we're gonna draw an A, B, or C room. Well, we do have an A room that's on fire. We have found the life support, which is great, except it's on fire. So we somehow need to work on getting that not on fire. We'll put that there. I am going to place a fire token onto this room, so it's on fire. Doesn't mean you can't use the room, and you can still search in this room. It's just on fire. Now, the good news is this room is not broken. So remove one fire from any room in the facility. I can remove it from there if I want to. Now, sadly, there is no computer there again. I really wish there was. I want to find these cultists and I want to kill them so I can get rid of some of those things that I can get rid of those bonuses that they have. At this point, now that I've moved up there, I am going to roll a noise roll. We found a 1. Oh no, boo! There's noise over in this area right there. Now, sadly, that's the end of his 2 actions. So once that happens, we're going to perform 2 actions. And if a sector without oxygen, I'm going to tick this down to 5. So we have 5 oxygen left. On top of that, it says here, if you're in a room with fire, I'm going to lose 1 health. So he's going to lose 1 health. That's terrible. It's going to go down 1 there. It is now our pilot's turn, and sadly, I had exactly the cards I need. Look, I have demolition. I can destroy 1 accessible door. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot. I'm supposed to put the door up. Our event card told us to shut the doors, this thing. I've got some doors here. These are actually from the Nemesis terrain expansion from the first Nemesis Kickstarter. I'm just going to put those right there. I'm going to place that's the doors I'm going to use for this. Those are not the ones that came with this prototype. Those are my doors that I have. Sadly, like I said, I did have all the cards I could have used. Could have destroyed that door, or I could have opened a door if I just happened to have a computer in this room, but I do not, so I can't do that either. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard my computer card, and I'm going to move 1 space up here with our character. We need some help. I do not need to roll a 1. That's going to be bad. I rolled a 4. That's totally fine. We'll put a noise marker right here into that room. I am then now going to use 2 cards to use the room. I'm going to use the room. It says that I can flip the oxygen on in section A, or I can remove a fire marker from any room in the facility, and I'm going to choose that room. That is what I'm going to do. Now, I've used all my cards. She has no more cards, so she's going to have to pass now. So she has entered into the pass mode. So she is no longer going to be taking actions, but he still has 1 card left, which sadly is not a card I could really use. I could go backwards and go down this way. There is nothing going that way, so I can't go in that direction, and there's no quarter this way to go in this direction, and I can't go through that door. So he is also going to hold onto this card, and he is going to pass as well. Once I decide to pass, before you move into the intruder phase, you can choose to discard any number of cards from your hand to bring yourself down to as many as you want. So for example, I could discard this, being able to draw 5 cards, or I could keep this card, and when I draw back up to my hand, I'll be drawing up to my hand size, so I'll only be getting 4 new cards if I keep the card. I'm going to keep the card. The first thing we do during the intruder phase is the intruders are going to burn, but as you can see, it's crossed out in this particular expansion because they're robotic. They have like robot metal and stuff as their undercoat. It's kind of like the Terminator, doesn't burn, but he can burn the flesh off, but that's okay, it could still keep coming. The next is going to be the intruders attack. There are no intruders to attack. They would attack anybody in a room. The Twitchlings activation, there are no Twitchlings. Twitchlings, when they activate, are going to move away from us toward the way to get off the board. So if there's a Twitchling here, it would move out of here and get off the board. And once it does that, that is going to help out to strengthen the queen. At this point then, since all that has gone past, we are going to enter the event phase. We're going to draw an event card, and then we're going to do our bag development. The event cards are all found right here. We're just going to give them a good old quick little truffle shuffle here and draw one of these cards. Let's see what has befallen our brave adventurers. This one says Auto Fire Protocol. All intruders in corridors with these S move. Then all intruders in rooms move. That is not going to happen. If 1 or more are still alive, there are 1 or more cultists alive, so we're going to do this. Each character adjacent to at least 1 corridor with one of those type of enemies, and no doors between them, loses 2 health. Well, I don't think we have any of those. Well, we don't have any of those enemies, but the enemy they are referring to is going to be, I bet it's the flesh splitter, fire spitters, yes. If there was a fire spitter adjacent to us, that'd be very, very bad, but there's not. Then we're going to resolve noise in unexplored corridors. If we look at our map, an unexplored corridor is any corridor that is not adjacent, is not connected to another room. This is an explored corridor. This is an unexplored corridor because it is not next to two different rooms. This is explored. That is also considered explored. This one is not explored, and there's a noise marker there. So we are going to resolve each noise marker in an unexplored corridor. So there is no other corridor here that has a noise token except for this one. So we are going to resolve that noise token. We're going to reach into our bag and draw out one of our tokens and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a twitchling, but that is not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is on the back. I am going to place those particular intruders into this corridor. And that means we'll be placing a crawl mine and a twitchling into that room. Now, sadly, I would love to get down there and destroy the twitchling, but I don't know if that's going to happen this turn. Here are the two different intruders. There's the crawl mine intruder, which looks pretty cool. I like the gold that they kind of put on these. It looks really neat. We're going to place them into this corridor, and that is going to be it for the event phase. At this point, we're going to go to our bag development, so we'll shake up our bag a little bit, and we'll draw out a token and see what we have got. We have found ourselves a fire spitter. The fire spitter states right here to add 2 twitchling tokens to the bag. So we'll just find our next 2 twitchling tokens in our pile, and we'll just drop them right into the bag. Okay, that is it. Now, if we would have gotten the twitchling, we'd have activated all twitchlings and placed a twitchling in the hibernatorium. At this point, we are going to go to the cleanup phase of the game. The starting player is going to change, so I will take this token over to this area here. Now the pilot gets to go first. We're going to draw our cards. We're going to get 5 cards. There should only be 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, there is. So the cards we have are a rest card, where I can get rid of infections. I can search the area. This might not be a bad idea. Piloting. If you're in a room with the ship or with a robot, roll a burst die. Deal hits in an adjacent corridor equal to the result. Oh, that's really good. Or move it 1 round track by 1 in any direction. Oh, that could be really good too. If we could find the self-destruct or the anti-aircraft system and turn it off, we could get that ship here faster. Connection. If you're in a room with a computer, which seems to be the Achilles heel of my group, activate the robot anywhere in the facility. Or if you're in a room with the robot or a computer, use the room. And the last one is always prepared. Use the room, then all intruders in your room attack you. Oh, that sounds bad, but maybe using the room would be good. Discard an action card to draw 2 items from 1 item deck of your choice. You may keep one of them and discard the other. Our sharpshooter gets to grab only 4 cards because he did keep 1. So we're going to draw these cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and see what we have. We have Chain of Command. Move the lander on the board 1 track in any direction. Oh, so he has a very similar card. Command, choose a lower rank in your room or a neighboring one. Make the chosen move, shoot, or burst. You make all choices. When command card is played on you, ignore the effect. Oh, so some of the cards I didn't mention before do have a reaction abilities, and that's going to prevent them from having these type of cards played on them. Remember, his leader number, I guess his rank is 6. Our pilot's is only 1, so he has command over her if you wanted to play this card. Of course, playing co-op, but it doesn't mean you can't help him out if you wanted to. Headshot. Oh, this looks really good. If you have a sniper rifle with bullets in it, discard 1 action to deal a headshot to 1 of the intruders in a neighboring room. That's really good. Demolition, destroy a door. That's fantastic. And secure, place 2 secure tokens or discard 1 to reinforce 1 empty adjacent corridor that leads to a room with a character. Oh my gosh, he's got some absolutely fantastic cards. Now that we're done drawing cards, we are going to advance the time. So we're just going to move this down 1 and move into our pilot's turn. Now, I forgot to tick down the oxygen one with her when we at the end of her turn last time. It was my fault. Now, I would like to go get those intruders, but that could be bad. And we do know that the sharpshooter does have a way of getting through that door. Now I would like to go down here, but there is no corridor connecting it, so I can't get down there. So instead what I'm going to do is discard my always prepared and my rest card to perform the room action again. But this time I'm going to flip the oxygen to its on side. So now we no longer are going to lose air inside of this area. Now the area does cut off right here. So as we move through the thing into section B, we're again going to be out of oxygen and have to find that oxygen source. But once we come back this way, we'll be okay, at least in the oxygen department. I can't guarantee anything else that might pop up down here. The next thing I'm going to do is for my second action, I am going to search. I'm going to grab a green and a red card and decide which one of these I wish to keep. We have 2 heavy items. Oh, I don't want heavy items. I want to keep all my heavy items. A heavy oxygen tank, which gains 7, or a military taser. I can repel an intruder from your room or choose one person and discards all their cards. So this could be a way in a semi-co-op game to take advantage of the fact that you can maybe start eliminating a player by all of a sudden having them discard all their cards, especially if they're in a room with intruders when that happens. Sadly, I am not going to take either of these cards. I'm going to discard both of them. The reason is because I do want to keep both of my heavy items, and I cannot hold more than 2 heavy items, and I'm definitely not dropping my gun. That's her 2 actions. She's done. She's not going to lose any oxygen, and she's not going to take any damage from a flame being in on fire, because there's no fire in there. So we're going to move over to our sharpshooter. Our sharpshooter is going to use his cards. The first one he's going to do is he is going to use demolition to destroy 1 accessible door. Now in the newer Nemesis games, these doors actually do break apart and you'll have a broken door there. But for this purposes, I'm just going to take a door token and I'm just going to lay it down in its corridor to show that it is destroyed and that you cannot steal that door again. So that is going to be the first thing he is going to do, is that. Now, I was going to move over to the hibernatorium, but I'm going to read this because I think I should have done a lot of it from this room right here. Now that this door is gone, maybe this all takes place. It says, never place noise in corridors to the hibernatorium. So first off, don't place noise in room corridors to the hibernatorium. So I should not have placed a noise token there. It also says the robot cannot be used while this is here. It says when a room is connected to the hibernatorium, which this one is connected to the hibernatorium, reveal the robot card. It can now be used. So we're going to reveal our robot card. Which robot do we have access to in this game? It is going to be the server robot. Move the robot up to 2, or if the room, or if in the room with a robot has a computer, use it even with a malfunction token. And in this particular, for this particular robot, we get to add these to that robot. That'll be absolutely awesome. And those are going to be the ones that we have already originally placed right here. So these are going to be on our robot. I'm just going to place them in next to it like it shows. So those are on our robot. Here is the robot that we have. Now, the robot, when you get them, is going to be, you could have this option of it. I believe this might be been an add-on. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly. But you're going to have different, I believe, it's going to have all of the different types of robots. And you can just slot in what robot you have, and it's going to go into the hibernatorium and it's going to hang out there. Now, if you want, now of course we can control this with some of the cards we have, and of course you can actually control it from where you are as well. But the cool thing is how you're going to be able to like create that robot. You're going to have, I think, different pieces for this robot that slot in to denote which robot you have available to you. The hibernatorium is now available, and I'm going to discard this token just to let you know it is the same on both sides from what I understand. It might, I'm just quickly reading it. It does say, yes, I think it's exactly the same on both sides. We're going to discard this token. The hibernatorium now is in full use. In the hibernatorium, you can make a noise roll to hibernate or take 1 corpse from the room. And now that this token is gone, this never placed noise on corridors to hibernatorium. I believe that is no longer a thing now. I think now that the hibernatorium has kind of been unlocked and opened, you can start placing noise outside these rooms here. At this point, we are not going to be playing it safe. For our second action after we destroyed the door, we are going to use our chain of command. I am going to move the lander on the round track in 1 in any direction. And I'm going to choose to move it up. I kind of want to get it above these corpses. I'm kind of banking on the fact that the anti-aircraft gun is not functioning. There's a 50-50 shot at that. And of course, remember, our goal is to get to that C-section as fast as we can. So there is a chance that I'm going to find that in the C-section tiles to be able to deal with that anti-aircraft. Our pilot is going to go next. She is going to discard her connections card in order to move 1 space. She is going to move over here where the robot is. I am going to make a noise roll, but I'm not going to draw an exploration card because I'm not moving into any type of room from what I understand. We'll take our dice, see what we get. Hopefully not something too bad. 2, so I am going to place a noise token in 2, which is back there. At this point, I think I am going to send that ship up again. Piloting, if you're in a room with the bottom part, move the lander on the round track by 1 in any direction. And again, we're going to choose to move it up 1. I now am in the B section, which does not have oxygen, so I am going to have to tick this down to 4. And I'm going to have to pass my turn. I don't have any more cards. Now, I haven't been securing any corridors, and I actually can't secure this one because you can't flip it. I believe that's the deal. I am going to discard my secure card to move over here where the pilot is. We'll roll our noise die. We got a 1, so we are going to place noise in corridor 1. And now we have to decide, are we going to continue walking or stay where we are? I think it's time to keep moving. We are going to play I think I'm going to get rid of headshot. I don't have anything around me that's going to need to get shot in the head. So we're going to discard that to move 1 space. I think we're going to move over to here. We're going to move over in this direction. So at this point, I am going to draw a exploration card and see what we have found. It's just going to go straight ahead. All right. And I did not do it cautiously, which probably would have been a good idea. If there's a computer in the room, place down please be a cultist in this room. Entrance effect, close all doors around this room, awesome, and resolve that. Oh, that's going to be terrible. So good news, we get to draw a C tile and see what it is, because this does call for an A, B, or C, and we are moving into the C section over here. We'll draw this tile, see what we have found. We have found the escape shuttle, which isn't really going to help us too much, but we're going to connect it anyway. There we are, our escape shuttle. We are going to move into the escape shuttle. I am going to place down another corridor over here. This is going to be a number 2 corridor, and all the doors are shut. That's awesome. So we're going to place down a couple doors. These are going to be the bane of my existence, doors to this thing. Now that I think about it, I might have done this wrong. It's around this room. So there's one here and there's one here. So I may have done this wrong. I think it would have been doors like that. This door is actually around this room, so I shouldn't have had to use my demolition to destroy this. That actually never should have been there, but that's okay. Just a heads up, that's how I believe it's supposed to go. I'm supposed to be placing these doors around the room, not in other areas going to the room, from what I understand. At this point, there, again, is no computer, which is terrible, and I'm going to resolve the terrible, terrible symbol on my noise die. So we're going to reach into our bag and see what we have found. Hopefully we don't find another one of those things that, oh, this is going to be something bad. It's an ironclad. There's an ironclad inside our room. We'll place the miniature of the ironclad right here in the room with us. It is going to get to attack us. I'm going to discard that token, and we're going to see what this does. And we are going to draw an attack card from the Neoflesh. We're going to flip it over. It is not that symbol. It is not that symbol. So it's going to otherwise, if you are heavily injured, you die, otherwise gain a serious wound. Are you kidding me? This is horrible. What's the other ones? If you're heavily injured, you die. If you're heavily injured, you die, otherwise you gain 1 serious wound of contamination, serious wound. Otherwise, you gain 2 serious wounds. If you are injured, you gain... Okay, so that was actually the best one of these, but it's all still terrible. So we'll draw a card from our serious wounds deck. We're going to give it just a little quick little truffle shuffle here, and we'll draw this one right here. We have found ourselves guts. Whenever you pass, gain 1 contamination. Oh, yuck, that's horrible. I'm going to place our serious wound card right here underneath this area, which means all of these are going to now be crossed off, so I'm going to have to move my token to that one. If I ever heal this serious wound, then I can also heal myself back across this. But for now, I am totally ruined. I do have this. I can discard 1 serious wound and or restore 3 health. That's probably something I should probably do, but first we have to deal with this thing. Now, good news for me, I still have my heavy armor. Whenever you would gain a serious wound, you may lose 2 health instead. I think that is a better plan. So I'm not going to gain this serious wound. That serious wound is horrible. So I was here. I'd taken 1 damage. So we're going to go 1, 2. I'm still going to be in the same spot, but I do not have this, that was bad. Now, if it wasn't a bad serious wound, I might have kept it. No, there's no reason I'd ever kept one of these. That's how that's going to work. I wonder if you can only use this thing 3 times, which is why they have those marks there. I'm going to say I just can keep on using it until it gets into this area, then I can't use it anymore. I'm going to guess that that's how that works. you only get a certain amount of uses with these items here. So I am going to put a token on it to show that we've used this one time. And if that's wrong, please let me know in the comment section below, but I think that's a cool way to do it. So if it's not how it's supposed to be done, I think it should be. Now you have to figure out what we're going to do about that guy. Sadly, that guy is going to get me. I am going to discard this to take a shot at it. Who knows? Maybe I might get lucky. I'm going to do 1 damage to it, and we're going to roll our die and see what happens. Now, if we look at its special ability that it has, because I haven't gotten rid of that, it does say that if I do kill it, it's going to be repelled instead. And if I repel it, it's actually going to go over here where she is. So that's bad news, but it's better him than her. I got it. So we do get to repel it over to here, which is actually bad news for our poor little pilot, but that's okay. He's gonna have to pass. I don't have any actions cards to be able to use my med kit, but that's okay. Now, before we move into the intruder phase, I do want to mention that this is Nemesis Retaliation, a little bit different than the Nemesis games in the past. The corridors do matter. When you repel something from a room, you can put it into an adjacent corridor of your choice. If it's in the corridor and you repel it back into the room it's coming from. So this wouldn't have gone all the way to the room. It would have been repelled to the corridor where we do have a chance of killing it. Because in a room, we cannot kill it. It only gets repelled. Of course, if we ever find or take out a cultist, we could have done 3 of them by now if they would have had some computers in the rooms. How many computers in the rooms? If we had those, we could have probably been taking out some of these abilities that these intruders have, which are going to make them, they're just tough. They're tough. I got to get rid of them. All right. That is the end of our phase. All of our characters have passed. So we are going to go into the intruder phase. We are going to burn them. We're not going to burn them. So the intruders are going to attack. There is nothing to attack. They're not in a room. The twitchlings are going to activate. This little twitchling here, which I really didn't have much of a way of getting to. I could have backtracked to here and maybe try to take out both these guys, but we're going to play it not safe. And these are going to activate. It's going to move towards the closest unexplored corridor. Now remember, an unexplored corridor is a corridor that is not connected between rooms. So this is an unexplored corridor. It's already in that unexplored corridor. So in that case, it is going to leave the map. I am going to remove it, and we're going to be moving up the corpses. That's because this twitchling has given the biomatter to the mother brain, upgrading it. Now, that doesn't mean that the queen is coming out yet. This turn marker has to cross one of these paths. Then the queen tokens are going to start going in the bag. And this, of course, will flip over, and it's going to be gaining more health when it is going, and that we have to use in order to try to take it out. At this point, I do want to explain a little bit about how the queen's health works. It is different from the intruders that you've seen around the board. The queen's deck, the queen does get a deck of cards. You're going to be dealing damage to it just like you normally would when you're firing at it. If you ever roll this symbol, or you're able to do enough damage to get to that point, you're going to take your deck of cards that you have out here. I'm just using this Prime Bloods as an example so that we don't see these cards. You're going to flip over the top card, and you're going to do what it says on the card. Discard additional cards, which is 0, and place the queen back in the pool. So at this point, I'm going to be putting the queen back in the pool. It's not because that's what this card said. But some of these other ones are going to be a little bit different. Discard 0 cards. Okay, maybe that one's not a little bit different. Some of these got to be different. Here we go. This would be discarding 3 cards. Also, we're going to place a disabled token in the queen's room, or reinforce the queen's corridor. The queen's corridor. So at this point, we would discard the top 3 cards without looking at them, and we'd put them aside. Then we would reset the track after that's done. And say we've done this much damage to the queen, we have only 1 card left. At this point, again, once we reach the top, if we're able to destroy that last card, we would resolve it, and then the queen would be dead because there wouldn't be any cards left in the queen's deck up there. That is how the queen health track works. She is super powerful, super hard to kill, but again, it is possible in this game. So we'll put our track back down to 0. Hopefully we never have to deal with that. The other thing we have to do for the twitchling activation is we do have to put our token back into the pool. It's time to activate our event card, which is going to be next, and the twitchlings have activated, and then we're going to do our bag development. Let's check out what our next event is for the Neoflesh here. We are going to clean up protocol. All of the intruders in corridors with the I think that's the queen, move. Then all other ones in rooms move. So there aren't any in any corridors that are queens. So the queen's really okay. So all intruders in corridors with the queen move. Then all intruders in rooms move. Well, there's nobody in rooms or in with the queen, so those are not going to move. If there are 3 or more still alive, there are 3 or more still alive. I wish there wasn't. I wish I would have killed 3 by now. Place in the landing zone all twitchlings that are not in rooms with characters or unexplored corridors. For each one placed that way, discard 1 tactical gear token in each type from the landing zone. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. Then resolve noise in each unexplored corridor, and there's 1 right here. But lucky for us, none of the other parts of this card are going to activate. And that's because there are no twitchlings on the board, but that could change right now. For the noise in the corridor, we're going to draw a token out of here, see what we have found. We have found ourselves a twitchling, and it looks like we have found ourselves and a fire spitter. We're going to place them into these corridors right there. We are then going to do our bag development by giving it a truffle shake here, and we're going to draw a token out of the bag and see what we have found. If I can grab one, just one, there we go. We have found ourselves a twitchling. So at this point, we're going to activate all twitchlings, place 1 twitchling in the hibernatorium. Oh my gosh, they're just everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. So we're going to activate all of them and then put the one in the hibernatorium. So at this point, we are going to activate this twitchling. It's going to run off this. That was absolutely terrible. I'm going to place a new one in the hibernatorium. That's equally terrible. And we're going to move up all of these corpse markers 1. I was actually trying to keep this above the corpse markers so I could maybe get it to land in the facility so we know where it is. Because remember, I have this cool card that allows me to land at places, which would be awesome. But sadly, I have a feeling we're going to hit this thing before that happens. The bag development is done. One of the things is we have to switch the player token. So I'm going to give this over to our sharpshooter. We have to draw some cards, but while I'm here, I am also just going to move down the time advancement. Starting with our banged up sharpshooter here, we're going to take 1 card, then we're going to shuffle these all up and drop them all over the place. That's totally fine. We're going to shuffle these up, and then we're going to draw 4 more cards for our character here. 1, 2, and let's see here, 3, and 1 more, 4. I can already, now the sad thing is, since these are prototype cards, I know this is the contamination card. Now sadly, I can't just discard that card until it comes to the end of my turn, but I also cannot use contamination cards to perform actions. They're just kind of dead cards in your hand. Is the problem. I can take aim, that's fantastic. I can hold a position, I can search, and I can do repairs. Our pilot, on the other hand, doesn't have any contamination cards, which is good. So we're going to shuffle these all up for her, and we're going to draw some cards and see what we have found. It's also a little bit tough to shuffle these because they're not the quality cards that you'd normally get from Awakened Realms. All of the stuff is going to be produced in the way that they normally produce things. If you've ever seen an Awakened Realms game, they are phenomenal. So just expect that when you get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got connections. We have got computer skills, piloting, which is good, always prepared, and we have demolitions again. So we are going to go into our player turns at this point, and we're going to start with our sharpshooter. The first thing that our sharpshooter is going to do is use hold position. Yep, not going to use it for that. What I'm going to do is use my item instead, which is going to be able to allow me to restore 3 health, 1, 2, 3, back up to full power. I think that'll be awesome. We're going to discard that now that it has been used, and we're going to do our second action, which is going to be, let's see here, what should we do? Oh, I got a plan. We are going to use our repairs card to open or close 1 accessible door. We're going to open the one that that is right in front of us. This door is no longer here. It's not destroyed though, so it can come back down on top of us at some point. Also, if you wish to, I could use the escape shuttle. The escape shuttle can only be used by 1 person. Once it's used, you're off the map, and based on any of the orders that you have or your objectives that you've chosen, you may win or lose the game as the game continues on. I do want to mention that this is, of course, our only objective. Normally, you would have if you're playing co-op, every person does get a co-op objective, and you have to complete all of those objectives in order to win. Because of that, I am not going to be using the objective choice track, so I'm not going to be gaining any extra cards. I think that's kind of at a cost for not having the actual co-op objective modes. I'm going to just choose not to be able to choose those what I'm going to do because, well, there's nothing to choose. So I'm not going to gain those extra cards. I think that's only fair. That is the end of his 2 actions. He is going to go down to 3 oxygen, so he is running out. At this point, we have to take some of these guys out so we can get going. I am going to use my demolition card. I do not need this card. I'm going to discard this to take a shot at that larva there that is just hanging out. We're going to roll up our die and see what we get. We'll roll this up. Oh, that's no good. But before I do that, I do have to put down one token, and I get to put another one down for making the attack. That's what my shotgun gets to do. Now, that symbol right there means that I actually did expel the last set of bullets in my first part of the clip. So our clip does flip over to the other side. I also did not kill it, which is also super bad. So at this point, we are going to use my always prepared card. We're going to use that to also fire again, meaning before I make the attack, I get to put one down, and then I get to place another one. We'll roll up our die again, and it's all over the place. We got a 4. That is enough to take this intruder out. So that intruder is dead, but it took us quite a bit to do it. I am going to go down to 3 oxygen with her, and that is the end of her 2 actions. Seeing how well that went for her, I think he's going to try to help her out a little bit. I am going to use my taking aim card to shoot or burst. You may re-roll the first roll. You may accept the second. You must accept the second one. I'm going to try to take out the intruder that is right next to me over here. And now that I think about it, moving over here, I think I forgot to roll for noise. I probably should have put a subtitle in there for that, but do be aware that when you do move into your rooms, you're supposed to roll for noise. I don't think I did that when I moved over here. We're going to roll up our burst die. Our burst die is a little bit different. Our burst die is a 6-sider, and the number of rolls you roll on this is how many hits you do. Now, when you do burst, I can use my sniper rifle. It says instead of the normal burst, you may deal 1 hit to an adjacent corridor without spending any money or any bullets. Actually, I might just do that. I might not use my take aim card. I think we are still going to spend our taking aim card though to do it, but I am only going to do the 1 hit because he already has 1 damage on him, which is going to be 2. It does say, according to our card here for the ironclads, which I haven't gotten rid of, in a corridor it needs 2 hits to be killed. It already has 1 on it, so it is dead. Now, I'm not sure if this carries over from the initial hit and I repelled it, but if it doesn't, please let me know in the comment section below. But from what I understand, it's already taken 1 damage. I'm going to do the 2nd damage to it, and it is going to die. My second action for him is going to be to search. He is going to search that room and look for a military and a item for our health items here. Let's see what we have found. We have found ourselves a portable barrier. Close 1 accessible door even if destroyed in a corridor without a door slot. Interesting. Or I can take, an oxygen tank. We're taking the oxygen tank. That's really good. I don't need barriers, I don't think. Maybe I do, but I'm going to hope not. The first thing I'm going to do with her is I am going to do the piloting card, which is going to move our lander up 1 on the track. It is going to go to 7, meaning it is moving up the track, which could help or not. Then I'm going to use my computer skills card. That one I'm going to use to move 1 space. I'm going to move over to the escape shuttle. Now that I'm there, I'm going to roll for noise. I apologize if I missed that before. We got a 3, and there isn't anything in here that's going to go to 3. Now, actually, I don't think this is the best idea because there's only 1 way to move out of this corridor, and hopefully and if that's a dead end, that's going to be super, super bad. But maybe it's not. At this point, moving back over to the sharpshooter, he is going to pass. He has a contamination card, so we can't do anything with it. This could be a very bad idea, but I do have 1 more card left with the pilot. She is going to use it to explore. I'm going to move down this corridor into that room there. Let's draw our card. It says here that we have placed in a room A, B, or C, depending on the section of the room being placed in. At this point, I am then, if it's a computer room, I get to place in one of those things. Entrance effect, make a noise roll. So I am going to be moving into this area over here. We're going to place down a C tile. Let's see what tile it is. We found the nest. Well, good news. The nest is up here and it's going to be locked up there. I don't think I want to be anywhere near this nest. I can't get out of the nest. And it's on fire, which is kind of funny. It's on fire, so I'll put a fire token there. And I cannot place any of these different paths because they would go off in this direction, which is off the board. This is also off the board because the board stops right there. So this is a dead end room. We have found a dead end here. We have to go all the way back this way and then back down because we can't, there's nothing off of these ways. That's the end of her action. She's going to go down to 2 and she is going to pass at this time. So we are going to activate intruders. We're going to attack and you have the twitchlings activate. There is nothing of those that are going to happen. So the next thing we're going to do is draw our event card. But before we do, I am going to roll for noise because, again, I almost forgot to roll for noise. Let's roll it up and see what we found. We found 3. That is 2, so we're not going to be placing down any noise. The event card we have drawn is going to be Extermination Protocol. All intruders in corridors with the little slasher symbol move. That is not going to happen. Then all in rooms move. If there's one or more still alive, place a slasher in each room with one of those cultists. There aren't any. Place a noise token in each unexplored corridor without a noise token. Oh, that's absolutely bonkers bad. I've left a lot of unoccupied or unexplored corridors out here. This is going to be really, really bad. All right, I think there we go. That's all of them. I believe ones that have intruders are not going to have anything placed in there because there's already an intruder in there. But, oh man, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. Now remember, we've seen cards on this that say activate all of these when it happens, so this could be absolutely pretty devastating. We'll do our bag development at this point. That's the next step in our thing. We'll draw a token out of here. What have we found? We have found ourselves a crawl mine. So if you look at here, the crawl mine does say add 2 twitchling tokens to the bag. Oh, that's brutal. That means there's a better chance of that queen coming out. So we're just going to stick a couple of those right in there. The starting player is going to change back over to the pilot, and we're going to draw up our 5 cards. Let's see what we have found. We have found some good things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all 5 cards. We found weak spot. We have basic secure, repairs. We have rest, and we have search. All right, fantastic. Okay, I think those are pretty good cards. Now, before I went to the intruder phase, I should have discarded this card. There'd have been no reason I would have kept that contamination card. I'm going to draw 5 new cards. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fantastic. Let's see what we have. We have the headshot. I might be able to take that guy out. Headshot 1 by 1. We have chain of command. We have demolition, and we also have our rest card. Oh, I kind of wish he was going first so I could use his chain of command card to move her. Before we start our next turn, I do have to take 1 damage. I am in a room with fire. And because it's the nest, during the intruder phase, you have to destroy 1 egg if the nest is on fire. Well, this dead end is no good. I'm going to use my search card and my rest card to both move. I'm going to move here and then there, having to do noise rolls as I go. So we'll have to do a noise roll into this area here. It's going to be in 4, which means we're going to put a noise token right here. Then I'm going to move into this room, and this is going to be really bad. I'm going to roll a die and see we found 3. That's going to remove the noise token from there. We're going to draw a chip out of the bag and see what we have found that is in that corridor. Let's take a look here. We have found a skitterling, and it looks like we have also found, I think that's a boomer. No, it's a crawl mine, a boomer. Crawl mine. We have found a crawl mine and a hatchling, so we will place them both into this corridor. We'll have to take those guys out if we want to keep going here. She is slowly losing oxygen. She is down to 1 left. It's now time for our sharpshooter to take some actions. We're going to use our rest card to move back over into the hibernatorium. We're going to roll our noise die. So we got a 1, so there's some guys coming from this way too. We are getting surrounded by these guys. This is out of control. I got to take all these guys out, and I think I can do it. I think I can do it. We found a blank token. All right, I'll put that in there. And then according to this, I'm going to add 2 random adult tokens to the bag and place that token back in the bag. So we'll grab the top 2 from our stack, place them in there, and that's his movement and his noise roll, which was absolutely fantastic. Now, normally when you fire into these corridors, I would be using my burst die, but instead of doing that, I'm going to play 1 by 1. This is one of these special sharpshooter cards. What this states is that as long as I have ammo, which I do have ammo, in my sniper rifle, you may resolve this effect any number of times. Deal 1 hit in an adjacent corridor and roll the shoot die to check for the following. If I roll this or this, I spend the money, or the ammo from the sniper rifle. So we're going to start rolling our die. The first thing I'm going to do is try to take out this skitterling. We're going to take out the skitterling. Oh, you're kidding me. Well, that's that card. I took out 1 guy, and now my sniper rifle is completely empty. The good news is I do have more ammo in my tactical belt, but it is going to cost me an action to use things in my tactical belt. Now, sadly, I need to go that way. That's the way I need to go. So I need to blow that guy up. So I'm going to burst into that room. It's going to cost me a card and a lot of my ammo to blow that guy up, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to use my repairs card to make a burst into that room. We're going to roll a die and see what happens. I got 2, so it would do 2 damage into this corridor. He only has 1, so that will destroy that guy, but it is going to cost me half of my ammo. Because of that burst, she also now has no ammo in her gun, which is awesome. So I am going to use, I think we have to use cards to help my characters out here. I'm going to use weak spot. I'm not even going to be able to shoot with it. What I'm going to do is use this out of my tactical belt to give myself back 1, 2, 3 oxygen, bringing my oxygen level to 4. I'm going to discard that. Those are the 2 actions here, which now I'm going to tick down 1 to go to 3, which is terrible. Actually, I've got a better plan. We're not going to use that. We're going to go to 0. That's fine. I instead am going to gun with that card in case something bad happens. I've got bullets in my gun. Going over to our sharpshooter, he should have lost 1 oxygen from where he is because that is not on in this area of the facility, and that was the end of his turn. I am going to use one of my cards here. I'm going to use Demolition to allow myself to use my heavy oxygen tank. 1 use only, I get to gain 7 oxygen, which will bring you all the way back up to the top. Fantastic, because you can only ever have 7. I'm going to discard that item. Then for my second action is I am going to move this person. Choose a lower ranking person in your room or neighboring one. Make the chosen person move, shoot, or burst. You make all choices. I'm going to have her move, and she's going to like it. That's the deal. She's going to move down into this area here. So she'll be in that corridor. We're going to draw a exploration card for the Neoflesh. Oh my gosh. This is, again, the same type of deal all the way around. Entrance effects, close all doors around this room. Make a noise roll. Remove this card from the game. Okay, oofta. All right, lots of stuff here. First, I get to put down a question mark room. So it's not even a room that's going to help me. I was looking for the air oxygen one. Not going to happen. So we're going to see what we have found. We found the technical corridor entrance. Move a character in any room to the facility. To the facility, all right. In the facility, sorry. To any room in the facility. Resolve an intruder attack card. Treat it as an adult attack, all right. We'll put that there. I also have to put down corridors in these 2 places here. 1 down here and 1 over here. I am not going to place 1 here because this room was already resolved before this one. So it's not going to magically make corridors in this room, in this thing. So I am going to place down a couple noise tokens. Place 1 here, here, and that's it because there would normally be 1 there as well. I am going to close all the doors. There are no doors to this room according to these. Nope, there are no doors. Awesome. And then, oh, it's broken. I just noticed it's broken. So technical corridors is broken. You can't reinforce this location either according to this symbol here. And then we are going to make a noise roll. We've got a 3, which means there's now noise in every one of these areas. But that's okay. She's over there. And she didn't even have to move. He moved her. Those are his 2 actions. He's going to go to 6 on his oxygen. And now she is going to use her oxygen supply and give herself back 3 oxygen so she doesn't run out. That's going to be the last use of her card. His last action is going to be to discard this to reload his gun. He's going to reload his gun, full ammo in that. The interesting thing about this particular card is it does say remove this card from the game. So this card is not going to be shuffled back into the exploration deck. At this point, our intruders are going to attack, our twitchlings are going to activate, but none of that's going to happen. So instead, we're just going to draw our event card and see what's happened to us. This is what's starting to look really awesome. We've got a person down here. Our pilot is in big trouble, noise everywhere. This thing could potentially move into that room and start being a problem. We'll find out. It says here, generator overheat. That sounds absolutely horrible. All intruders in corridors with the S are going to move. There are none. And then all of the intruders in rooms are going to move. There are none in any rooms. Then sections with life support, place a fire in each life support control room. Oh, that's terrible. There's now a fire in this room, support control room, life support control room. That's horrible. In the other sections, place a broken token in each life support control room. Lucky enough, we haven't found any of those yet. So that's fantastic. Are there 3 or more still alive? Sadly, yes. Each person is going to resolve that symbol. Oh no, that's horrible. We're going to get some bad things in there. This is going to go in player order. So our pilot is going to draw first. Let's see, our pilot has drawn a slasher. A slasher is going to be in her room. That's horrible. I'll put that token there just to remind myself, because now I have to draw another one for our sharpshooter. Our sharpshooter is going to find also found a slasher. We got double slashing.
This is going to be really bad. We're going to have two different slashers in the area now, and they're both in rooms. Rooms are a bad place for these things to be. The slashers are both there. They're both going to make an attack because they are appearing. The first one is going to attack the pilot. We will draw a card and see what has happened. Oh no, it is slash. If you're heavily injured, you die. Otherwise, gain a serious wound and a contamination. So she's going to gain a contamination card. We'll put this into her discard pile. And she's going to gain a serious wound. She has got herself, what's this, body. At the drawing card step, draw cards until you have 4 instead of 5. Oh, that's horrible. That's no good at all. Let's see what happens to him. Oh, these slashes are bad news. We got cling. If there is one of these, lose health, discard 1 card and lose 2 health. Okay, then we don't have that. So otherwise, gain 1 contamination card. Well, I would have liked that in the opposite order. Would have been a lot better if she would have just gained the contamination card, but he's going to gain another contamination into his discard pile. And now she is stuck with this horrible injury that's just going to slide underneath here and take up all of those slots. So we're going to have to move this down to there. We're not done yet. It is now for the bag development phase. We're going to reach in here, draw a token. We found a crawl mine. So we're going to add 2 twitchling tokens to the bag, making them more prevalent to be coming out. 1, 2, drop them in there, and we're ready to go. Next, we'll pass our first player token over to our sharpshooter, move our track down, and both of them are going to draw up to 5 cards, but not the pilot. She's only going to draw 4. It's amazing how this game can go from bad to worse really quick. Good news is at least we have bullets in our gun. Most of our characters have enough oxygen to hopefully weather this storm. We'll see. We're going to shuffle this up a little bit, and we're going to hopefully blow up these 2 intruders and continue on our mission. We'll see how this goes. I got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2 of them are contamination cards. I can already tell by the way they feel, which is bad news. So we got 5 cards. 2 of them are contamination cards, I think. Nope, they're not. Wow, only 1 of them was. I guess I was wrong. We have a rest card, 1 by 1. That'd be good if they were in the corridors. Headshot. If you have a sniper rifle, you can discard a card to deal a headshot to a person in a neighboring room. That would be really good. I could help her out. This one, I can discard some cards to reinforce, but you also got a contamination card. Over here, our pilot, good news, with having this, I can only take 2 actions, so I'm not going to lose as much oxygen. That's half the battle, right? We like oxygen. I'm going to grab 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cards for her. We'll put these over here. See what we have found. We found piloting. I'd love to get that thing to land. Computer skills, repairs, and demolition. None of them to help me shoot, but I can still probably take this thing out. The only other thing we have to do before going into our turn is I forgot I do have to remove a egg token from the nest because it is on fire. Here we are moving into our team's turn, but alas, we are not there yet. There's another thing I forgot. These slashers are absolutely out of control. Don't forget, these slashers always attack twice. So I have to draw cards for both of them again. So we're going to be drawing for our pilot. She's going to be attacked again because this thing attacks twice. So the first one did a serious wound. The second one is going to be rat-a-tat-tat. It does not have that symbol or that symbol. So draw and resolve another card. So we're going to draw and resolve another card for our slasher. This is bad. Caught. Lose 1 health and gain 1 contamination because we do not have any of those symbols that we're being attacked by. So we'll move our marker down 1, and I'm going to gain a contamination card, but instead of putting my discard pile, I'm going to shuffle it into my deck because it would have happened before I drew cards. Now, I'm not going to redraw the cards that I took because of that extra contamination card. We're just going to add it to the deck. Now we have to draw one for our poor sharpshooter as well. He has found himself, boom, and these are not being attacked, so he's just going to lose 2 health. He just got himself back up to full power, but he's going to lose 2 health. At least he's not taking any serious injuries. All right, we're going to move into our turns. I apologize for making that mistake. We are going to discard this one in order to make a shoot action, which is going to put a token there on our enemy, and then we are going to roll a die and hopefully get a 1. Oh, we got a 1! That means we are able to destroy this slasher. That is absolutely epic. That was 100% what I wanted to have happen. because now I can use my headshot. I've been holding onto this card. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. If you have a sniper rifle with ammo in it, and I do, discard 1 action to deal a headshot to an intruder in a neighboring room. I am going to discard, should I discard my secure card? I think I might discard the secure card. I think if I remember right, we drew a secure card. Or was that the last time we had a secure card? I think it was the last time we had one with our pilot. So maybe I'll keep the secure card. Well, who am I kidding? The pilot is not going to be here after I blow this guy up. That's just not going to happen. So instead, we are going to discard the secure card to activate my headshot card. It says if you have a sniper rifle with ammo in it, discard a card to deal a headshot to 1 intruder in a neighboring room. I am going to shoot this guy in the neighboring room. That gets rid of both of those slashers. Now, I could not have done that first because I cannot do it in combat. So being able to kill that was such a huge thing. I'm going to discard my demolition card for my pilot to be able to move into this room. Remember, we're trying to stay in the C section, and this is another C section area. Let's see what we have found for that. We are going to place a room with a C or type, A, B, or C type, depending on the section room. It does say entrance effect. Place 2 secure tokens and 1 twitchling in the corridor you have just passed through. Then make a noise roll. All right. Oh wait, this is going to be really, really bad. These are the ironclads, if I remember right. We'll grab our C tile, flip it over. We have found the reactor. Okay, that's absolutely awesome. I can remove from the game all oxygen and self-destruct and the anti-aircraft if I use this room. So we are going to move into that room. We are now going to place out what we need to do. I'm going to place out 2 of my token or my corridors here, 1 here, and 1 is going to go down in this direction. And I've placed my character there, and I have to put a noise token here, but there already is a noise token, so we are going to resolve noise. And it's interesting because I also am putting twitchling here. I'm not sure how this exactly is going to work. I do have to put a twitchling and 2 ironclads from the room that I came from. So these 2 have just come skittering out of the air duct area there and are ready to take us out. Also, I do need to put a noise token in there. For what I'm going to do, I'm not exactly sure how to rule this. There were 2 noise tokens here, but I have placed people in this. So I'm just going to discard the noise token and say those are the people that showed up. I am going to roll for noise though, and I got a 2. There is already enemies here, so I don't think I'm going to be placing any noise tokens. Again, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comment section below. The only C tile we have left is going to be the one that probably turns on the hibernatorium, so we're going to leave our sharpshooter there. I think we're going to go after it with our pilot. Hopefully we can get there and back with only 3 oxygen. I did forget to tick down the oxygen level for our sharpshooter. It is going to be down to 5. I'm going to perform my second action with my pilot here. She's going to use, since we can't find anything with computers, we're going to use a repair card, I think. We're going to use the repair card. We're going to discard that one. I think I want to keep that one. It's such a tough call. So here's what we're going to do. Since we haven't found any rooms with computers, we're just going to discard that card. We're going to perform a burst into here. Now, the problem is bursting into this room, these each have 2 health. So I'm going to have to really get a good number in order to take a lot of this out. I got a 1. That's it. I got a 1. That's no good. Now, it also is going to use half my ammo. So I'm going to go down to half of it from our pilot shotgun. We'll place 1 damage on one of those, and that's her second action, so she's going to go down to 2 oxygen. Our sharpshooter has 2 cards, and one of them is contamination, so I'm going to use 1 by 1, and I'm not going to use it to shoot that guy. I was thinking about it, but I think what instead we're going to do is we're going to activate the robot, and I'm going to send the robot 2 places. When we activate the robot, it allows it to move up to 2 times, or if you're in the room with the robot and it has a computer, you can use it even if it's disabled. But we're going to use our robot to move 1, 2, and the robot ignores any type of noise rolls. It also ignores any intruders, and intruders ignore it. So it brings the robot down to here. And that's going to be good because remember, this robot is carrying these 2 things that I'm probably going to have to grab off of it. This is going to drop our oxygen down to 4. Okay, with our robot down here, our pilot is primed and ready to go.
we have 2 actions we're going to perform. The first one, sadly, I'm going to use both of the cards I was hoping to actually save and use in the future. I was actually planning to move the lander with this one, and I might have to repair a room at some point, so I was hoping to hold on to these. But nope, alas, we're going to use both of these cards. The first one we're going to use is we are going to shoot again into this. We're going to do a burst into that room. We're going to roll our die. Another one! Oh my gosh, that's horrible. I'm going to destroy this. This guy is dead, but oh no. Now remember, I couldn't have shot the Twitchling because these do have that special ability. Everything has special abilities because I cannot find any rooms of computers. Oh my gosh, they need to make more rooms of computers. Add computers to more rooms. That's what they need to do. This one says when it's in a corridor, it needs 2 hits to be killed. And it says the Ironclad must always be the first target in corridors or in rooms. So I couldn't shoot the Twitchling. I had to shoot that first. All right, that's my first card. Doesn't matter which one I use. The second card I am going to use is I am now going to use my tactical gear. And when using my tactical gear, I can choose to use the robot's tactical gear as well. And when performing a tactical gear action, I can choose to use any amount of tokens in my tactical gear slot that I wish to. I do have to discard this because my second burst is enough to empty out my clip. So I'm going to use both things on our robot. And we're going to increase our oxygen by 3, bringing it back up to 5, but then I'm going to put it down to 4 because I am going to be ending my turn and passing. I am going to reload my gun, and of course I just realized I had a grenade, which would have been absolutely awesome to use. And since it says I can use any tactical gear in my gear slot when making a tactical gear action, I am going to throw my grenade. I am going to throw this grenade into that room. The way you throw grenades is you're going to add 2 to a burst roll. So I probably should have used this first, but that's okay. We'll see how this goes. I got a 4 plus an exclamation point. Now the exclamation point is going to have ramifications on particular weapons and things, but not on the grenade. It's going to do 6 damage, which is going to blow up everything in that corridor, which was absolutely awesome. But of course that does discard my only grenade that I had. Mental note, when playing this game, I might grab some more grenades instead of ammo. Grenades can really take those things out. So with that one action, I was able to raise my oxygen by 3, reload my gun, and throw a grenade into that room, because during your tactical action, you're able to use any amount of tactical things on your belt, and the robot is considered to be part of your tactical belt at the time. That was fantastic cooperation by our sharpshooter and our pilot to be able to get her to continue moving around and hopefully find the things we need to do. Our facility is starting to look kind of cool. I didn't have to come in this direction because, of course, we were trying to get straight to the sea area. But so I went up and around. That's really neat. I love the fact that we found a dead end over in that area. That was really super cool. We're going to go into the our intruder phase now at this point because all of our characters have passed. So the intruder's attack, Twitchling's activation, not going to happen. We're going to draw an event card and see what happens to our brave heroes here. Detonation protocol. All of these boomers move in corridors with these are going to move. If there are 2 or more that are still alive, which there are, place a broken or fire token in each room with one of these particular creatures. Those are the I want to call them boomers, but they're not boomers. They're called crawl mines. So for every crawl mine, we're going to do that. Each character in such a room loses 3 health and places a crawl mine from such a room back into the pool. We're going to place noise in each unexplored corridor without noise. Okay, this is where things are going to start getting really tough. The way intruders move in this game is if they're in a corridor, they are going to move to a room. If they're in a room, they're going to move to a corridor. And they're going to go towards the closest marine. Doors will not stop the route that it will take. If there is a door and it's still the closest way, it'll go in that direction, have to deal with the door. Once it enters a room, if there is a person in that room, it will attack that individual. And if it already is in combat with somebody in a room, it will not move according to the card. It will stay in combat. Of course, if you do have any of those fortification tokens, which I haven't been using in this playthrough, you can, when an intruder enters that room, it will destroy the fortification first, which might have been really nice when those slashers all came flying into our rooms. But for now, we are just going to move that character over to that room. And of course, this guy is going to explode, breaking the room and starting it on fire. And then there are 2 corridors that are unexplored that do not have noise tokens in them, so we'll place the noise tokens there. This one did not tell us to activate our noise tokens, so I don't have to roll or check our bag to put in a whole bunch of enemies, which would be absolutely devastating. Look, I'm actually very, very fearful that something like that might eventually happen. At this point, we are going to move into our bag development. So I will take our bag, we'll develop our bag here. We'll see what we have found. We have found ourselves what is this? This is an ironclad. So according to our bag development, we are going to add 2 Twitchling tokens to the bag. We'll drop them right in there. So there's a ton of Twitchlings in there if I remember right. At this point, we will move into the starting player will change. So I'll put this over with our pilot. Our pilot is going to go first this turn. We'll draw our cards, and we'll do that in just a second. But since I'm here, I am going to move the time marker up 1. We're on turn 5. We're going to draw our 5 cards, but of course for our poor pilot, it's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have drawn 4 cards. We found a contamination card, so I really only get 3 actions: weak spot, connection, and always prepared. So the good news is we don't have enemies really right next to our pilot, so we could probably get a move on. Our sharpshooter over here, again, I should have discarded that. I would not have kept that card. There'd have been no reason to keep that card. So that's what now I'm just going to mix these all up. We're going to draw some cards and see what we find for our character. I'm going to throw them all over the place because these are a little bit tougher to shuffle than normal cards. There we go. We're going to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 cards, let's see what we have found. Found ourselves that hold position. We found repairs, rest, taking aim, shoot or burst, you must reroll the first thing, and we also found a search card. So we have some pretty good cards for him too. He's actually doing a really good job to staying put and keeping an eye on the situation. I'm going to get rid of connections. We're going to discard connections to be able to move over to this area over here. We'll draw an exploration card and see what we have found. We found place room of a question mark type. Oh, that's sad. I was hoping for a C because that's what we need. Oh, look, if there's a computer, I can place one of those. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh, something's in the room. Remove this card from the game. Let's see what we have found. Now, if I was smart, I'd probably start moving around cautiously because then I would be placing these in here. And if I were to have to resolve this effect, the enemy would not instantly attack me. That would have been a smart plan. But alas, that is not what I did. We'll place out a question mark room. I don't want question mark rooms. I want A, B, C. We have found well, at least it's got a computer. That's fantastic. Sprinkler system. Remove all flame in a chosen room. Now at this point, I am going to place out my corridors. It cannot place a corridor here or here. It would go off the map, but I can place a corridor down in this area here. And I'm not placing any noise because that noise marker would be placed up in this area. I'll move my pilot over there, and at this point I am going to draw from my bag to see what is in that room. Let's draw it up here and see what we found. Probably a Twitchling. There's a ton of them in here. We have found a Twitchling. There is a Twitchling in the room, so I'll put another Twitchling there, and we'll see if we can try to take that Twitchling out so that I can continue moving. Or I could just continue moving, and I would have to take an opportunity attack by that Twitchling. The opportunity attack is a contamination card, which isn't the end of the world. But since there is a computer in the room, I am going to place out finally one of our cultists. I'm going to put our cultist miniature in there. These things look super cool. That is like the whole biometric, bio stuff and also the robot stuff all combined in as one. I think it looks really cool. We're going to stick him right there. That looks super awesome. I think we are going to play it safe. I'm going to use, since I have the card, I'm going to play weak spot. I'm going to deal 1 hit to intruder, then shoot or melee attack. I'm going to deal 1 damage to this intruder, then I'm going to shoot it with our shotgun. The shotgun then says after shooting, deal 1 hit to each in the room. So that'll be really good. So we're going to shoot this guy. So I'm going to add 1, shoot, and I got a 4, which means I'm going to still add 1 to every person in the room, which isn't bad. Then that's the end of her 2 actions. So we're going to discard our cards and drop our oxygen down to 3. Now I was getting a little critical here because I don't have any extra oxygen around. I need to find a way to turn it on. I know our sharpshooter has been doing a great job hanging out in the hibernatorium, but I think it's time for him to get down here. This did not go as I was hoping, so it's time to get him moving. I'm going to use a rest card to move him down here. He is going to roll for noise, which could be tragic. Oh no, there's something in the room with him. So we'll draw from our bag here and see what it is. We have found ourselves, what's this? Oh, a crawl mine. That's no good. There's a crawl mine in his room, and these guys like to explode. That's going to be absolutely horrible. I totally should have stayed in the hibernatorium. The crawl mine does have an ability here. Whenever a crawl mine is killed in a room, draw 3 intruder attacks. If at least one boom card is drawn, resolve one of them, then discard the drawn card. So I have a feeling I'm going to be taking some damage if I kill it in there, but if I don't, it's going to attack me as I move out. I think he's got a lot of health. I think we're going to be okay that this is going to be an attack. I'm going to play this card. We're going to make an attack, a shoot action. So I'm going to do 1 damage to him. I'm going to roll my shoot die, and I got a 4. I do get to re-roll this with my taking aim die, and I got a 3. So neither one of them are actually going to take that guy out. Over here, our pilot has the ability to take either one of these out. I think we're going to take the Twitchling out just because I think I have an easy chance of taking it out. I'm going to use my card to use a shoot action in this room, targeting the larva, or not the larva, I apologize, the Twitchling. We're going to be able to put a token onto it, then we're going to make a roll. The interesting thing about this is afterwards I get to put 1 on everybody. I may have done that wrong in the previous attack, but here's the deal. Even if I roll a low number, I got a 2. Now, if that had been a 1, I don't think I'd have been able to take this guy out, because you do have to choose who you're making the attack against. You have to choose a target. I'm choosing this. It's going to kill the Twitchling, since that thing is not going to attack me, unless, of course, an event says it does, that I have never seen before. We have seen some, so I haven't seen anything that makes that thing do anything yet. That thing has died. Now, interestingly enough, I could have killed that. If I did kill it, I could have gotten rid of something from an enemy that they have. So, for example, I could have gotten rid of the crawl mine's ability to make him go boom in the room and flipped it over to this side. But I chose not to. I chose just to take that critter out. And now we're going to move over to our sharpshooter because she's out of cards. She's going to pass. I'm going to drop her oxygen down to 2. He has lots of cards left to use. I'm going to use I don't want to use a search card. No, I think we're just going to use a hold position card. We're going to use that hold position card to attack. So I'll place one of these here. Hopefully we're able to take this guy out. I need a 2 or lower. Oh no, I got a 3. So we're going to shoot again with our repairs card and put a token onto it. We'll shoot again at this guy and see what we get. We got a 3. This time we took him out. It took a lot of time and energy to take this guy out. And of course we did not get rid of his superpower. So we're going to draw 3 attacks cards, and if any of these say boom, that's boombastically bad. / cling, nothing. That means we did not have to worry about taking any damage from that enemy when it blew up. Those are the end of my 2 actions. His oxygen is going to go down to 3, and he's going to use his last card to move down to C. Once there, he's going to make a noise roll. He rolled a 4. A 4 does not put anything anywhere. This is a 2, a 1, and a 2, so we're not going to be placing out any noise. And since this thing does not attack, there are going to be no intruder attacks, no Twitchling activations. We are going to draw an event card, and we're going to do some bag development. The event card is Artificial Fever. All intruders in corridors with the queen move. Well, that's not going to happen. Then all intruders in rooms are going to move. If there's 1 or more still alive, each character in a computer room reshuffles their deck, draws all action cards, and resolves the infection procedure. Then discard all action cards and lose 1 health for each contamination card discarded. And then each person is going to make a noise roll. Now, I would have discarded this as well. There's no reason to keep this. And I'm going to take my entire deck and shuffle it together. Is that what it says? Each character in the room reshuffles their deck and draws action cards and resolves the infection procedure. All right, I'm just going to shuffle these up real good. Since this is a prototype, some of these cards you can kind of tell what they are. So I'm just going to shuffle them sideways a little bit. There we go. Shuffle them like that. Just kind of flop them in there. Perfect. I get 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I only get 4 because of my my body part problem, and I do have 1 here. So we're gonna have to do the infection procedure. Oh, I don't draw 4. I draw every action card. So it didn't matter if I shuffled them up. I'm going to draw all of them. Okay, I have 2 of my contamination cards. We'll see if these actually are able to be read with my red scanner here. This is the red scanner that's going to tell us if we are contaminated or not. We're going to try to read this and see if we see the word infected anywhere on there. I don't think I can, hopefully, I don't think that's going to come through on camera, but the infected word is not there. So that one is not there. We'll do this one now as well. This one, oh, this one does say infected right there. Infected. I have horrible spelling, but I believe that spells infected. So at this point, I am going to now have to place a larva token onto my board here. We'll place it right there. That's going to be no good. That potentially could be the end of me. We'll see. I then have to discard, according to the infection procedure, I would scan all the cards in my deck, which I did. Then I'm going to find out if any of them have infected. If they do, I'm going to place a larva token on my character board. And if you don't have any words, the card is uninfected, which is fantastic. The third part of the infection procedure is to discard all contamination cards from your hand. So we'll place them over here. They're discarded. And of course, because I discarded 2 cards, I am going to take 2 injury. We're going to go down 2 health points down to this area here. Now the artificial fever then of course tells me to discard the rest of my cards as well. So we discard absolutely everything. Let's give it a little truffle shuffle right here. I'm going to split those 2 up a little bit. I can kind of, sadly, like I said, being a prototype, I can kind of tell where some of the stuff is, but that's okay. We're going to shuffle it sideways. Put our action deck over here for when we have to draw our cards because we have no cards in our discard pile. Now, he is not in a room with a computer, so he does not have to deal with all of that, which was absolutely bad. But I do have to do noise rolls for both our characters, so I'll roll them up right here. We got a 1 and a 2, so... Oh, that was absolutely choice. Okay, the 1 is going to appear over here. We're going to draw a token and see what is in that corridor that just magically came out. Oh, it's a blank token. So I'm going to drop that back into the bag. And because it was blank, I'm going to add 2 random adult tokens to the bag. So we just drop them right in there. Give us another shuffle. We're going to draw out a token for the other corridor and see what we have found. We found ourselves a slasher, and we also found ourselves another crawl mine. That's awesome. So that means these 2 intruders are going to be in here, which means I'm not going that way. I'm going to get rid of our noise token as well, and we'll discard that token. We'll put it back in the pool. Our event card has been totally completed. It was a long event. Oh my gosh, lots of bad things happened. Now, of course, if I ever wanted to get rid of my larva, I could do it here. There also might be some items in the deck that allow me to get rid of the larva token if I wanted to, but the surgery room is the one that can do it for me. Our event card has been completed. We're going to do our bag development. I'm just going to draw a token out of the bag and see we found another blank token. All right, we're going to put 2 more of these adults into this bag. This bag's getting pretty full, and I keep drawing out that blank. That's out of control. We're going to change the starting player over to our sharpshooter, and at this point, we are going to go into drawing our cards. Before we do that, we will do that, but I am going to move this down. That means we'll place this token onto here, and we're going to place this out onto our queen's board. I also forgot to take a token egg from here and get rid of it because of the fire in the nest. I may forget that every once in a while, and it's not crucial because we're not doing anything with the nest for our mission. But if our mission was to get an egg, we'd have to get into that nest and try to get an egg out of there. I'm going to place this right here. This is going to take the spot of this token, and this token is the queen, and that queen is going to go in the bag. Oh no, we don't want to go and find the bag. Oh, good news, there's a lot of tokens in that bag, so hopefully we won't find her. If she comes out, that is going to be absolutely devastating. I don't have much I can do about that. We now have to draw up to 5 cards. We're going to use our sharpshooter first. 1, 2, and then we have 3, 4, 5. I know one of them I think is a contamination card. Yep, right there. I'm going to get 1 contamination card. We do get a rest card. I've got a search card, a demolition card, and a chain of command. I can move our character. That's going to be absolutely key. Our pilot is only going to get 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see what she got. She got a contamination card. These contamination cards are super bad. Put that there. Always prepared, weak spot, and connection. So I do have 3 cards that she can use as well. Our sharpshooter is going to start. I could use a rest card to resolve the infection procedure and remove all non-infected cards from the game, but I am not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to use it to use a tactical belt action. And we're going to use everything on our belt. I'm going to heal 2, and then I'm going to give myself 3 oxygen. We're going to go back to 6, and then I'm going to throw this grenade into that corridor. And this grenade is going to do 2 plus whatever I roll, which is 1, so that's 3. That is enough to blow up all of these intruders in that corridor. So we have made a little safe passage for our characters, hopefully. Then with my second action, I'm going to use my chain of command to move this character. And remember, this will not do anything. The cultists do not do anything to us. We're going to move her down into that area there. We'll draw a exploration card and hopefully find the one we're looking for. Yes, we found place of room A, B, or C, depending on the section that it's being placed in. And then Oh no, it's broken. It's broken. That's no good. Oh, I need to repair it in order to do it. Okay, of course, I have to read the rest of this here. If there is a computer, I get to place a cultist, and it says close all doors around this room and make a noise roll. This is our final C room, and it is the life support control room, which can flip on the hibernatorium. So we're going to go in here, but of course it's broken. It's absolutely broken. That's horrible. All right. I gotta figure out how to fix this thing. I do have to do a noise roll, and I do have to place noise in the corridor over here, and I am able to place a corridor over there, but I'm not gonna be able to place any more rooms because the edge of the board is right there. We'll place a noise token into that room in accordance to this card. Over here, we have that noise token, and then we're gonna roll it up. Whoop, that's not a noise roll. This is the noise roll. We're gonna roll it up, and that's cocked. We'll roll it up, and we got a 4. So I'm gonna place there is no noise that is going to go into the rooms. So at this point, that's it. We are there. Now I just have to figure out how to fix this. Those are our actions with the sharpshooter. We're gonna go down to 5. Now our pilot has 2 actions. This is gonna be kind of tricky. We'll see if we can do this. I am going to use always prepared to move out of this room back to the reactor. Roll for noise. Hopefully nothing happens. I got a 2. I am going to place noise into this corridor here, which isn't going to help us at all, but that's okay. That's my first action I have played. I'm down to 2 oxygen. This is going to be pretty close here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this. If you're in a room with a computer or activate the robot anywhere in the facility, that's not what I'm doing. Instead, I'm going to do this. If you're in a room with the robot or a computer room, use the room. So I'm going to pay only 1 card to use the room. It's going to turn off absolutely everything, which means our oxygen supply in A is off. Also, I have deactivated the air defense system. The anti-aircraft control is no longer active, and that's fantastic. Sadly, with no oxygen, I am going to go down to 1 with my oxygen level, and that's the end of her turn. Our sharpshooter is going to use a search card. I'm going to try to search for something that can hopefully repair this room without needing the repairs card. Hopefully we can find something good. We get a military item and we get a regular item. So look and see what both the cards that we have are. We have found ourselves a personal log code, only room with a computer. Check all objective cards of 1 person of your choice in the facility. That's not gonna help us at all. Fire extinguisher, discard to remove fire or repel 1 from your room. Either of those are not gonna help me at all. I'll keep the fire extinguisher, why not? What the heck, we can keep that one. But I'm gonna get rid of this. This is obviously for a multiplayer game, but we are not gonna need that right now. That is his search card, and I think he's going to pass. I think he's gonna pass the rest of his turn. He still has demolition, he does not need this. I'm probably going to be discarding it when it comes to the end of my turn, but I don't want to trigger any of this noise that's going on here. So we'll see what we can do. It's going to go back to our pilot, but first I have to lower his oxygen level down to 4. Our pilot now is going to be awesome. I have 1 card left. I am going to use this card, and of course when this is done I'm going to pass, so I'm going to go down to 0 oxygen to activate this orbital maneuvering system. Only if there are 3 or fewer rounds to when the lander is supposed to land. Choose a neighboring room and place the lander there. All intruders are repelled and each person loses 2 health. Make a noise roll. Then it says here, from now on, any person may enter the lander as if using the landing zone action. This is awesome. This is going to be so much fun. Now the lander is less than 3, so it is going to land. I had to wait until I turned off the anti-aircraft system so that I could be able to land this lander. I'm just interested to see if the anti-aircraft system was on. It was inactive, so I would have been just fine at any time landing that lander, but how would I have known that? I didn't have a way of knowing that. So we are going to land this in the life support control room. We're going to land it right there. That is our plan. Now all we have to do is get here, activate this, and we're able to make sure that we have this. Then we have won the game, because we have right here, the hibernatorium must be on, and the reactor must be shut down. We've already shut down the reactor. We've turned everything off, but we do have to still turn the hibernatorium on. So we have to get the hibernatorium on in this place right here. So why not land the lander there and have it deal with it? Now, of course, I do have to roll a noise roll for this thing just crashing into this place. It's going to be in 3. I'm going to remove this right here, and we're going to draw a noise token out of the bag and see what is in 3. We have found ourselves a skitterling, and it looks like a fire spitter. So we'll put those 2 into that room. Here's our fire spitter, and there is our twitchling, which of course is going to run. There's nothing we're going to do about that one. We're going to return this to the pool, and that's the end of her turn. She is going to pass, and we'll move into our end of turn phase. I kind of wish I could have moved him down here, but I didn't want to be there when this thing landed, or I would have took 2 damage, which actually wouldn't be the end of the world. But it's too late. I already passed with him. Maybe I should have moved the robot, now I think about it, down there. That would have been really good. I don't really know what the robot could have done for us down there, but it still would have been kind of neat. All right, we'll move into here. The twitchling is going to activate. It is going to move off of the board, which will then move our 2 corpse tokens up. The intruders are not going to attack. There's nothing to attack, so instead we're going to draw our next event. This could be crucial right here. Let's see what we have found. Neoflesh conversion. All of the intruders in corridors with, oh no, that's the fire spitters, isn't it? I think that is. It's the fire spitters. They're all going to move. So this is going to move into this room. All right, if there are 3 or more that are still alive, there totally are, the robot moves 2 times toward the closest person. Resolve 1 intruder attack there and treat it as if it's a slasher, then place a disabled token on the robot. That is super, super cool. It took control of the robot. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Then I have to resolve noise in each unexplored corridor. Oh no, I have to do now. That's good news. We're in the area I think where we have to be. Otherwise this could get really, really bad. But it's already bad. That thing's going to attack somebody. We're going to resolve a slasher attack, and I believe it attacks people. The target of this is going to be player order. In the old Nemesis, or the other Nemesis games, I shouldn't say old, when the other Nemesis games picks the attack, it's usually based on card count, but I have noticed in Nemesis Retaliation, the card count is kind of not as important as it was in the other ones, because in that one you're more sneaking around, and that kind of simulated that. There isn't a sneaking, I'm just rolling in here, guns blazing. So it's going to go by player count, so this is going to attack the sharpshooter at this point, and I did not miss. Nothing happens. Reshuffle the Neoflesh attack deck, even if drawn as a result of a Craw Mine skill card. Oh, I didn't even know these were in the deck. That's absolutely awesome. So we're going to take our attack deck. We're going to shuffle this entire thing. I made it about halfway through the deck before I had to shuffle it. That's pretty awesome. So we're going to give it a good old truffle shuffle here for this the attack deck. Oh, that's pretty awesome. There is misses in here. That's pretty cool. All right, so this thing attempted to slice at the sharpshooter, but he quickly saw it and heard it go out of the corner of his eye. He saw the robot's eye all of a sudden turn red and knew it was being taken over. And so instead he dodged out of the way. Now I do have to put a disabled token on the robot, and we're going to simulate that by putting it just right in there, and then we're going to remove this because he's broken now. He can't be used. That's absolutely awesome. Now we're going to resolve noise in unexplored corridors. This is going to put out a lot of intruders. We're going to place one right down here. We're going to place one into here, and I'll flip all these over after we place them down. We'll place one there. We're going to place one right here, and then we're going to have to do one here. We have to resolve all of that noise. The noise tokens are all going to be resolved. It doesn't look like we drew our queen. The first one is a crawl mine, but it's not. It's going to be a crawl mine and a fire spitter. So we'll place down a crawl mine here. We're going to get rid of the noise token and a fire spitter into that room. The twitchling is going to be a twitchling and an ironclad. So we'll put the ironclad and our twitchling right there. The next one is going to be a twitchling and another fire spitter. Oh my gosh. Well, look at the bright side. If it wasn't for the pilot's card, if the pilot did not keep its card, the orbital maneuvering system, we would have had to come back all the way over here to this landing zone or put ourselves in the hibernatorium in order to survive this. That would have been absolutely brutal. Look at all of these intruders that are all of a sudden coming out now that we know that I think they're really upset that I just cut the power to the place. We're going to put down that's going to be a crawl mine. We'll put that one here, and we'll put a twitchling there as well. Now I only have one more left. That is this Twitchling to put down. And what's on the backside of this Twitchling? It looks like it's going to be a slasher. We're going to put a slasher down there with them. I'm going to remove all of this noise. Oh my gosh, look at this. These are all, oh, look at all these guys out here. Now the sad thing is there are a lot of Twitchlings out there, and they are going to activate as well when it comes to their next turn. They're all going to move off of these boards, and they're going to move these corpse markers up a ton, putting more and more of those queen tokens into the bag that we would have to deal with. The event card is complete, so we're going to do a bag development. We're going to draw a token out of the bag. We have found ourselves a crawl mine, so that is going to tell us to add 2 more Twitchlings to the bag, so we'll just drop them in there. We're going to pass our starting player token over to the pilot. We're going to go down to 7, which is just a little bit off screen there. And we're going to draw our cards. She is going to gain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cards for her. Let's see what she has found. Piloting. If you're in a room with the lander or the robot, roll a burst die. Deal hits in an adjacent corridor equal to the results. That's pretty good. Or I can move this down. Not going to happen. Computer skills. Not going to help me. Contamination. Demolition. Uh-oh. We've got problems. I do not have a way of repairing that room. It's going to be our sharpshooter. He's going to draw 5 cards. I might not have mentioned this, but I did discard my entire deck. I got secure. That's not going to help me. I got a headshot. That's really good. 1 by 1. A contamination card. Now I have to shuffle this up. If I don't get a search card or a repair card, we're in a world of hurt. There is no way to turn that life support or flip over that token. So we'll have to see what we get here. Shuffling this up real good. And we are going to draw this one right here. B repairs. No, it's a search card. Well, a search card might help us out. Might be okay. Might be okay. All right. It's going to be our pilot's turn first. Interestingly enough, I think our pilot is going to pass. I'm going to pass the turn with her because I am going to have to lose oxygen going down to this, which means now I am suffocating. I don't think she's going to live. I have a big problem. It says next time you lose oxygen, you die. Discard this token when you gain oxygen or turn the section with the oxygen back on. So technically I could have turned the section with oxygen back on, which means I wouldn't lose anything. Huh, that actually might not be a bad idea. I could use 2 cards to turn it on. But nope, I got a plan. I don't mind if I'm suffocating. I've got a plan. That's the end of her turn. I'm just going to discard all these. If it matters somewhere along the line that I'm holding cards, we are holding 4. I'm going to discard them. And we're going to move over to our sharpshooter's turn, who's got a lot he's got to do. First thing he's going to do is he is going to do headshot. If you have a sniper rifle with ammo, I can discard 1 card to deal a headshot to an intruder in a neighboring room. Now, when I shoot this guy in the neighboring room, he does have a power, but it is not going to activate because the fire spitter's power states that whenever a character bursts into a corridor, the fire spitter will first lose 1 health to the individual. But that's not going to happen because this is firing into a room. He's a sharpshooter, man. He's got that sniper rifle. All right, so I have to discard another card. I am going to discard 1 by 1. I'm just going to discard that one as well. Those are the 2 cards to take this guy out. This guy is now dead. We'll put him in the dead pile. I'm going to move down here because I could potentially search. I think I might search up here and then move down here. That might be what I do. Discard, or I could move and then secure this place and place 2 secure tokens on this area. Oh, that might be a good idea too. I don't know if there's anything in any of the decks that is going to help me to try to repair this. There has to be something in there. I think we're going to try it. I'm going to search. That's my second action. I'm going to drop my oxygen down to 3 for my sharpshooter, and he's going to search in this room. He's going to grab an item. I think if anything is going to repair anything, it's going to be those items there. This does not repair anything. What did I find here? I found a grenade. That repairs stuff, not the right way. And this is phosphorates. Reinforce 1 empty adjacent corridor or discard a flame token. That doesn't help me. I'm going to take the grenade. Why not? I'll take the grenade. I'm going to take a grenade and put it, does this just mean I put it into, you can use this item for free immediately after gaining it. Resolve a grenade effect in an adjacent corridor or gain 1. I'm just going to gain the grenade token. I'm going to put it onto my belt right there. That's the end of his turn. She's already passed, so it's going to be his turn again. He's going to use this card to move, and he's going to move down to this area here, hopefully getting the ability to power it back up next turn. I'm going to discard both of these cards, And I think that's about all I'm going to be able to do with him. I do have to make a noise roll moving down here. Do not roll a 2. Oh no, do not roll that either. That's super bad. Oh no, things are looking really bad here for our team. Let's draw in our token bag. See what we found? We found ourselves, oh, a fire spitter's there. A fire spitter, we just killed a fire spitter. Another one comes jumping out and it is going to attack us. Let's see what happens to our person. It says caught. The queen is not going to do anything, but I'm going to lose 2 health. Oh no. I would have so rather had him be in the corridor than here. There goes down 2 health. And now he has to pass as well. That was absolutely horrible. That's the worst thing that could have happened because now I got to take this guy out in order to repair that. Oh my gosh, it's killing me. All right, at this point, we're going to move into the intruder attacks phase, and there is an intruder that's going to attack us. So the fire spitter is going to attack us. Let's see what happens. Boom. I do not have that, do not have that. I am going to lose 1 health and gain another contamination. Oh, yuck. So I'm going to gain a contamination card into my discard pile. I am move my health track down 1. And we are moving into the injured area. I forgot to tick down my oxygen to 2. Oh, this is all going really badly. If only I would have had the ability to repair this room. Things would have been so much better right now. Now these twitchlings are all going to activate in 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to run off the board. Bringing these 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. These things are both active. I'm going to put them on the queen's board. And we're going to drop 2 more tokens into the queen's bag. Now, interestingly enough, when we fight the queen, if we do, I'm not planning on it, the way this is going to work is this is extra health for the queen. So we can put our track here if we want to, and then it has to go up all of these numbers and then still go up the queen's hit track, which is out of control. I'm going to drop these into the bag. Moving back to our heroes here, which are having a really bad day all of a sudden, we are going to draw our event card and see what happens. Hopefully that robot doesn't attack us again. Long range defense protocol. All of the intruders in corridors with the cultists move. That's not going to happen. Then all in rooms are going to move. There is one in a room, but it is in combat, so it is not going to move. So none of them are going to move. If 3 or more are still alive, if the lander is on the 14th slot of the board track, remove it from the game. Oh my goodness. Otherwise, move the lander down the round track by 5, but no further than the 14th slot. Oh my goodness, lucky for me. So it's a long-range defense protocol. That's kind of cool. It's like it's actually attacking back at this thing from a long way, and so it's pushing its ability to get to us farther away. That's kind of cool. Shuffle this card back into the event deck. All right, we'll shuffle this one back in the event deck, but I don't have to move the lander because the lander has already landed. So lucky for us, that actually was a really good card when it comes to the, what do you call it, the event phase. So lucky for us, that really didn't do anything. At this point, I am going to do my bag development. So we'll take our tokens here. We'll shuffle them up and see what we have drawn. Oh no, there it is. We drew the mother brain. The mother brain is going to be coming out. We'll have to see what that does. For the bag development, it does say the queen, place the queen in the landing zone. All right, so this thing is coming out onto the board. This thing is absolutely awesome if you have not seen this thing. It is the queen. This is the oh my gosh, the mother brain. Look at this thing. This thing looks so cool. All right, we're going to put that out on the landing zone. And then it says to flip this board. So now that the queen is on the map, we are going to flip this. There is going to be different activations now for a lot of these things. For example, no longer does the Twitchling say that it is going, when I resolve this, it's not going to, what is it, activate all Twitchlings, then place one in the Hibernatorium. It's just going to activate all and the queen. That's actually the biggest difference here. And of course, the queen is going to be activating now as well. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is super awesome. We got the queen out on the board. And again, if it wasn't for the pilot landing that craft down on the board, we would have had to go back here. This is where the lander would have landed. It would have landed right there, and I'd have had to deal with that. Not only would I have to deal with I have to deal with the queen, I've got to deal with all of this. This all would have probably eventually come in here and started attacking us. It would have been absolutely out of control. But lucky for us, we're all the way over on that side of the board. Who knows? This thing can, the queen can move quite fast if the right things are drawn. But we're going to go into the end. I am going to change players. This is going to go over to the sharpshooter. We're going to draw our cards. I'm going to advance my time track to 8. And unless we are the luckiest rollers on the planet, I have a feeling our pilot is about to die. We have 2 cards there. We're going to draw 2 more for her. She only gets a total of 4 cards because of her injury, which is super bad. 1, 2. So she has 4 cards here. Let's see what we have found. We found basic, secure, repairs. Oh, I got the repair card and demolition. Oh, but sadly she can't. Oh, she goes second. So this might actually work out. She's going to die. But she's going to sacrifice herself for the good of our sharpshooter. Let's see what cards our sharpshooter is going to draw. He doesn't really have a lot of stuff he can do in close combat, which is too bad. Oh, I got a plan, I think. I think I got a plan. It's going to be really bad, but it might be good enough. We'll see how this works. We're going to draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll see what we have here. We have a demolition. Oh, I drew 5. Oh, no, he gets 5. Rest, contamination, taking aim, hold your position, and demolition. Okay, he did not get a... Okay, he did not get a way to be able to repair this, but that's okay. I think we're going to be able to do this. We are going to first use our fire extinguisher. I'm going to use my, if there's at least 2, taking aim, what's this, rest. I'm going to use my rest action. Oh, I might actually use my rest action. I'm going to use my demolition action. I'm definitely not using that. We're going to use our demolition to use our fire extinguisher that I laughed at earlier. And that's going to allow us to repel that creature into that corridor. We're then going to discard this item. It is no longer usable. Totally fine. And at this point, we are going to perform another action, because if I do not perform 2 actions, I have to pass, and that would be absolutely horrible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rest. I'm going to resolve the infection procedure, remove all non-infected cards from the game instead of discarding them. Infection procedure, scan all contamination cards in hand. If any of them are infected, place a larvae on your character board, then discard all contamination cards from your hand. So we're going to scan this card. If it says infected, we are in a world of hurt. Let's check out what it says here. Again, hard to see in this through this camera, but I see no infected. This card gets discarded from the game. Oof, that's good. Okay, well, that's our second action. He's going to go down to 1 oxygen. Sadly, our pilot has no oxygen and is suffocating. And I think it's going to be the end for her. But she's going to go out in a blaze of glory. I am going to use my demolition card to move. We're going to move here. At this point, I have to roll a die. Oh, that's the worst thing that could have happened. The worst thing that could have happened. Oh, no. We're going to draw our token from the bag and see what we get. This is going to be bad. Whatever it is a fire spitter. It is back. These fire spitters just keep on ending up in our room. Oh, that's horrible. All right, we'll grab a fire spitter and put it into the room. Now, sadly, she cannot repair with that thing in this room here. Oh, that makes me so, so sad. Yeah, because I need to have that thing dead in order to do it. I cannot do it while I'm in combat. So for my last action, I might as well just shoot it. I am going to use my basic secure action to fire at the intruder here, which is going to do 1 damage to it. And then I'm going to roll a die. We'll see how this goes. It's going to go poorly. We'll roll it up. Oh, I got a headshot. This thing dies. That's fantastic. All right, she did her job. She killed that thing. Sadly, she also died in the process. She has no more oxygen. She is suffocating. So without this on, without the life support on, she is dead. I'm removing her from the board. Now, everything that she has with her is also going to be destroyed. Her shotgun is no longer usable. It doesn't just end up on the board. So she is off the board. She is no longer a playable character. She is super dead. I am going to burst into this room. I'm going to use half of my sniper rifle ammo to burst into this room and see if we can take this guy out. I'm going to take 1 damage because that is what the fire spitter does before I make my attack. I got a 1. This thing is dead. There's only 1 there. So he has been bursted to death. That's my first action. My second action is going to be to pass. I'm going to pass. I don't need anything else. I need 5 cards. I need one of them to be the repair action. And then I need to use 2 actions here. And then I need to get in that ship and I need to get out of here. And I don't have a lot of oxygen to do it. I'm down to 0. I am not going to be attacked. The twitchlings are not going to activate. There aren't any on the board. So we'll just go to our event card and see what befalls our people here. This one says ambush. All of the intruders in corridors with slashers are going to move. If 2 or more are still alive. If there is a slasher and the lander is in the landing zone, remove the lander from the game. Otherwise, place one slasher in the landing zone. Shuffle this card back in the event deck. Oh my gosh. So first we have to find our slashers. They are going to move. Inquisitors are going to move. So we do have a slasher out here somewhere, if I remember right. We have him, yes, he's right here. He's going to move up there. Oh boy, he's of course the closest one. Then, if there's a slasher with the lander is in the landing zone, remove the lander. Nope. Otherwise, place one slasher in the landing zone. So we are going to place a slasher into the landing zone with the queen. And then we're going to shuffle this back into the deck. That was all we had to do with the event deck. Now we're going to reach into our thing here for our bag development and see what we have found. We have found ourselves a fire spitter. So at this point, we are going to add 2 twitchlings to the bag. That's still what is going to happen with when one of the adults is drawn. We do not need to move the starting player. There's only one left. We're going to draw some cards and we're going to advance the time to 9. Now, if I would have ever drawn the queen token out of there, the queen would have activated. And when the queen activates, she's going to be moving on that board to try to get to us. Lucky for us, we kind of did this whole like bridge thing up and around, so it is going to take her quite a while to go up and around this thing, which is kind of cool. We're going to draw 5 cards. One better be the repair card. The game's over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we don't have the repair card in here, we're in big trouble. Rest. Oh no, contamination card. Oh, 2 contamination cards. Secure. Oh no, the game's over. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's not over. I am going to pass. I'm going to pass with everything with him. I don't have any way to repair. I don't think you're going to find any repair cards in either of these decks. You're going to find like med packs, and these are going to be like ammo, things like flashbangs. Yeah, that's not going to help. So I'm going to pass, which means I'm going to discard all these but go down to the red. So I need to, yeah, it's not going to happen. Oh no, we're going to lose the game because my repair card is in here somewhere. Chain of command. Oh, there's my repair card right there. I would have got it next turn, but that's going to be too late. I don't have any way to get oxygen without repairing. Oh, maybe I can. No, I can't. The reactor is off. I turned the reactor off. Oh no. So that is going to be the end of our game. I'm not going to be able to survive this. Because I turned the reactor off, I cannot flip the oxygen on in this area. So when it goes to the next turn, I get only 2 actions, which means I could repair this room, and then I could flip this to the token side, and then I would have to, I would suffocate. If I would have had 1 more oxygen, I would have been able to get into this lander and taken off from here and survived our encounter with the Neoflesh, but instead I have not done it. Oh, that is so sad. So there you have it. That is the new prototype from Nemesis Retaliation from Awakened Realms. The game is available to still be pledged for. The Pledge Manager has just recently reopened, so you do have the option of getting into this game, or of course any of Nemesis that is out there. Personally, I have everything that Nemesis has ever done. This game is one of my favorite games, either the original Nemesis, Lockdown, and now Retaliation. Having played both prototypes so far, this is shaping up to be absolutely awesome. These guys are super cool. I love the different types of adults that are coming out here. I like the fact that this thing kind of builds itself up and then comes out as after a little while after it builds itself up. Again, without that, I don't know how many times I can say this, but without that pilot bringing the ship over here, having to come all the way back over here would have been absolutely brutal. I feel bad I didn't get enough oxygen for my characters. Next time, I think that's one of the things I might actually grab more oxygen as opposed to some of the other things like health kits and things like that, because that seemed to be my downfall in this game, was not having enough oxygen. Mainly because the only time I had oxygen was when that one was on, but then I turned it off. All right, that is all I have for this. If you did enjoy the playthrough, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. I'm thinking about seeing if Colin would like to do a live play of this with me. If you're interested in seeing that, please let me know in the comments section below. And of course, anything else you have to say, I would love to hear from you. Are you interested in Nemesis Retaliation? Have you played the original Nemesis and Lockdown so many times that this is something you're looking forward to? Or is this not something that interests you as much as the other ones? I think this is going to be a fantastic game, and of course, from what I understand, this is the conclusion to Nemesis. It's going to be super cool to see this game fully developed and on the table. Before I end the video, I do want to show these. These are a different race that could also, or a group of intruders that could have been also introduced. It's like a sub-race, so that group could also be in here as well.
That group is called the Zarian, I think, the Zyran. This is a group that basically, from what I understand how this group works, I didn't put them in there because I didn't want to have a lot going on more than it already is. This group, when it's out in the board, could either help or hinder you as you're moving forward because they're kind of doing their own objectives inside of the facility that you have also landed in. So as you're drawing their events, they could be like, oh, we need to get to this room, let's say, and you're in the room, and they might shoot you to try to get in this room or hurt you in some way. Or they could have intruders in this room and they could come right in here and destroy those intruders in that room that you might have been wanting to go to. So they could help you in that way. It's kind of a cool system. It's almost like, it's very similar to having a predator inside of an aliens versus predator versus human type concept, where these guys also have their own goal they're trying to do outside of your goal, and you may help or hinder. So I think that's a really cool system coming as well to Nemesis Retaliation. I think it's something you can add on, or it could be part of an all-in pledge or something. Please check out the pledge manager for the game. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Now, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the Patreon. The link to that is in the description of this video as well. Those that have joined the Patreon are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. The perks that our Patreon supporters do get is they do get to see our videos for playthroughs, usually about a day or two ahead of time. Also, we give them the option of helping us decide who we're going to play with in our games upcoming, and also how to level our characters up at certain points in games that we're playing. So there you have it. This was Nemesis Retaliation, the second prototype that I got from Awakened Realms. And again, a big thank you to them for giving me the opportunity to create content for this game. I am, again, super excited for this. Nemesis is one of my favorite games of all time. And this game, Nemesis Retaliation, actually any of the Nemesis games are absolutely awesome. And all the different intruders they made have been so unique. And this is no exception to that. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you're excited to see what Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.